Welcome to Derby Date Night on the Road, Family Edition. This afternoon, we are pleased to be bringing you roller derby action live from Indianapolis, Indiana. You've got me, Aria Kidding Me, on the mic with Seriously, my husband, producer, director, and dude of all technical things on the switchboard. We are switching things up a bit today. We've traveled all the way from Muncie, Indiana, home of Cornfed roller derby, and Ball State University, chirp chirp. But even more exciting, this is a family edition of Derby Date Night. We usually leave our kids at home, but today we have brought them with us. Our oldest, LOL, is on one of our cameras, and our youngest, OMG, is standing by, willing to reluctantly help when asked. And we sure are excited to get out of the house to enjoy this triple header day of Derby. Nope, double header day of Derby. Triple header was last weekend. You can find us on YouTube and also can find us on Instagram and Facebook. Like and subscribe to find out where you can join us next. But enough about us and Derby Date Night. Let's get to the reason you are here today. You are joining us now for Circle City Roller Derby's home opener here at their warehouse in Indianapolis, Indiana. The Circle City Socialites will be taking on the All-Stars from Cornfed Roller Derby. These two teams are no stranger to each other, having played many games against each other over the years. Today is Circle City's first sanctioned game in 2023, and the first time these two teams have met this season. They played a friendly scrimmage last summer, with Circle City coming out on top, but both these teams have had multiple lineup changes since then, so today's outcome is anybody's game. With that being said, let me introduce you to some of our skaters. For Cornfed Roller Derby, we have number 1, One Hit Wanda, number 12, Rogue, 214, Spinelli, 227, Cosmo Payne, 247, Karmakazi, 313, Misadventure, 4, Boggs, 43, Daisy Doom, 440, Melody Mayhem, 46, Grizzly Barrett, 4726, Soul Seeker, 64, Adderall, 7, Kelly Cloxam, 77, Goldie Blocks, number 9, US Amy. And now for our socialites. 1-2, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom. 1-2-1-5, Pure Polly. 1-2-3, Diamond. 168, Shauna the Dead. 24, Rita Repulsa. 312, Vivi. 317, Kimbo Slicer. 383, Frau Blocker. 5202, Serotonin. 572, Row M Over. 594, Malls Dolls. 62, Jesse Pleather Daddy Fisher. 687, LC Hammer. 789, Goldie Braun. And 808, Pele's Melees. That is your home team, the Circle City Socialites. We are so excited to have you all here for another day of Derby, joining us in this beautiful afternoon in a warehouse. So I'm hoping it's a beautiful afternoon because we don't have any windows. We've also got some great officials today. Ogre, Fiend, Darth Blue, Bambi, Alpha Toradozer, Pam Turner, Andy Turner, Eggs Benedict, Ranger Danger, Heathem Danger, Fearless Fairy, Tweety, and Bethley Hollows. And we will be starting with first whistle shortly here. For those who might be joining us for the first time, roller derby is a sport that is played on quad skates, so everybody's wearing wheels, and roller derby players turn left. So that's what you'll notice as they're going around the circle. I'll try to explain some other parts about it as we go through the game. Lining up for this first jam, For Circle City is Jesse Fisher, and for Cornfed is Melody Mayhem. Former teammates going up against each other on opposite teams for the first sanctioned game of Circle City's year. Jesse Fisher comes out as your lead jammer, so she will be coming around to score points as Melody is able to get around number 1, 2, 3 for Circle City to get out as well. Jesse enters the pack on her first scoring pass. She's knocked to the outside by Cosmo Payne. Melody is coming around the corner and will be looking to score, but Jesse Fisher was able to call off that jam before Melody was able to score any points. Official score from that game. Let's see how many points Jesse was able to get in that jam. Looks like she was able to get 3 points. But also happening in that jam, we had a number of Cornfed skaters. Nope, they are not in the penalty box. That's great. It looked like they were, but that looks like that might be just their lineup. Well, this will be a fun afternoon. Second jam beginning, Pele's Melee for Circle City and Rogue for Cornfed Roller Derby. Rogue quickly to the outside, finding some space to establish herself as lead jammer. Pele's Melee looking to find some space and get out before Rogue can come in and start scoring any points. She's stretching the pack out as Rogue is entering a very strong wall of Circle City skaters on the inside line. Rogue does a spin to try and get to the outside, but she's pretty stuck. Pele is out in the front of the pack, trying to still get out. Rogue is currently on a scoring pass, so she will score 1 point for every opposite team's player whose hips she passes. Both jammers are very stuck in these really strong walls. The pack is stretching out. When the pack stretches out like this, someone has to stay back and hold that pack together because we need to have at least 10 feet between each of the skaters. So Pele's Melee stretching out that pack enough to force Cornfed to let her go. So Cornfed coming back to provide some help to Rogue, but not in enough time, and the jam is called, and that jam will end. With all that pushing, Rogue was able to grab 1 point in that long, very slow, stuck jam. What great walls. Those blockers were doing a really great job. We've got 1 Cornfed skater in the box right now as we start this next jam. Miss Adventure for Cornfed Roller Derby, trying to establish lead jammer, but getting held by Diamond. Finds some space on the outside to establish herself as lead jammer. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom, jamming for Circle City, is stuck in the pack, but the pack is moving, and Bibbidi Bobbidi is trying to find some space as Miss Adventure is coming through on her first scoring pass. She is now scoring points for every skater she passes. She's being recycled as Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom is entering the pack on her first scoring pass. So both jammers currently eligible to score points. Miss Adventure has made it a little bit further through the pack, however, is just getting recycled as well. So Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom and Miss Adventure both getting really stuck here between turns 3 and 4. Not sure which one of them is gonna come out with all the points. Miss Adventure getting pushed to the outside. She is being forced to recycle as Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom also is being forced to recycle. Both skaters coming up against some tough walls here. Looking to find some room on the inside. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom finds a very strong Cosmo Payne, holding her back. Miss Adventure pushed to the outside, calls the jam, but not before both jammers scored some points on that one. Looks like they both scored 4 points, so kind of an even jam, leaving us with a score of Circle City 7 and Cornfed Roller Derby 5. I think they didn't make it all the way around the track. Like, they didn't make a full circle on that one. This is a very, very slow-moving game so far. All right, next jam beginning. We've got Rita Repulsa for Circle City and Melody Mayhem for Cornfed Roller Derby. As the jam begins, both jammers getting stuck. Rita looking for some space on the outside, is not able to find it. Hearing some whistles, which means some people are going to the penalty box. As that happens, Rita tiptoes on the inside line to establish herself as lead jammer. Melody looking for some offensive help. She's able to find it and get through on the inside line. Rita coming in to score points. The pack is starting to move a little bit faster. She just wants to pass those skaters and call that jam. after scoring all 4 points. Now, you might have noticed she only passed 2 skaters there, but because 2 of the Cornfed skaters were in the penalty box, she got all 4 points. So she was able to score those 4 points before Melody was able to come around and score any of her own. Looks like we've got Jessie Fisher lining up against Rogue for this next jam. We do have a fairly busy penalty box right now. Looks like 1 Circle City and 2 Cornfed players in the penalty box. So we'll be down a few blockers here. Rogue trying to find some space, going right up the middle as Jessie's getting recycled to the outside. Rogue spinning to try and find some space, but Jessie is able to slide up the outside to establish herself as lead jammer. Rogue being pushed to the inside is looking to take that jammer panty off. She might be passing it to someone as Jessie's coming in to try and score some points. Cosmo Payne tries to knock her to the inside, but Jessie was not able to be pushed on that one, so she will score all 4 points. Cosmo Payne taking the jammer star, so it will now be your jammer of record as Jessie comes through to score and call that jam before Cosmo can score any points of her own. Let's see, did Jessie get all 8 points? It looks like Jessie got 7, so on that second pass, she was able to pass 3 out of the 4 Cornfed blockers. All right, lining up for Cornfed, we've got Grizzly Barrett for Cornfed, and I think that's Bibbidi, is that Pele's Melee? Yep, Pele's Melee is lining up for Circle City, but she's skating away, so maybe she's not. Do we have a jammer in the penalty box? Yes, we do. Jessie Fisher is currently in the penalty box, it looks like. So we will start this with a power jam for Cornfed. We're currently in an official timeout, which is why we're taking a little bit longer to get started, but that whistle means we will be shortly starting the next jam. So this is a great opportunity for Cornfed, who's currently down by 13 points. Starting this jam as a power jam, they're going to be really trying to get Melody through as best they can. Boggs is trying to create some space for her on the outside. No pack is called, which means that the skaters need to skate forward and stay with that pack. This pack is a pretty fast-moving pack. Mel is breaking it apart. She establishes herself as lead jammer as Jessie is standing. So Jessie will be entering in less than 10 seconds. So Melody is going to be trying to score as many points as she can before Jessie comes in. Jessie is coming into the pack. She currently has the jammer star off, so she may decide to pass that to her pivot. Melody is on a scoring pass. She's trying to get past these Circle City skaters to be able to score points. Jessie gets through the Cornfed blockers. She has not scored any points, however, because that was her initial pass. The jam is called, and it looks Melody was able to grab all 4 of those points. Very well fought, hard-earned points. All right, that brings them up to 9 versus Circle City's 18. So this has been a very low-scoring game so far and very slow-moving. All right, as the jam begins, we have got Grizzly Barrett for Circle City and push to the inside and a little bit of a tumble there. Everybody getting kind of mixed up. Pele's Melee is a good jammer for Circle City, and she is working to stretch that pack out to try, and she is your lead jammer, and she is out, but Grizzly Barrett is also out right behind her. So both skaters out and coming around to try and score some points. Pele's Melee takes a hit, a little bit of a tumble there, and decides to call that jam before Cornfed can come around and score any points. Looks like Circle City did get 2 points in that one. All right, for this jam, we have got Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom as your lead jammer. and getting out very quickly. And we've got Boggs, looks like she is holding the jammer star, and with a little spin on the inside, beautiful move, she is able to get out, and she will be coming around to try and score points. The jam is called. And I think I just heard a timeout whistle, and I'm guessing it's exactly what I'm confused about, because Cornfed had 9 points, and now I'm seeing they're back down to 5 points, which doesn't make sense to me, because I feel like they had 9 points before, not that last jam, but the jam before. So I have a feeling they're going to be taking a little break to figure out what the actual score is. I think things got confused in the last jam because they might have accidentally given 4 points during the jam where no points were scored by Circle City. I've got some waving from the penalty box right now. Two lovely Cornfed skaters in the box. Looks like One Hit Wanda will be coming out in less than 10 seconds once we resume. And US Amy is sitting waiting for her turn to stand. So she has something more than 10 but less than 30 seconds to sit in the penalty box. I do not see any Circle City skaters in the penalty box right now. So this next jam will start with a bit of an advantage for Circle City, as they will have all 4 of their blockers out on the track. I'm noticing on the scoreboard that we have gone back up to 9 points for Cornfed. So they do have those 9 points that I was talking about, but Circle City also retains those points that they earned in the last 2 jams, bringing them up to 24. And that makes sense to me. I'm not good at math, but that's the math I did in my head, and it looks like that's what the numbers are saying. So Ogre is over talking with the scoreboard table still, so it doesn't look like we'll be starting in the next few seconds at least. So once he's done having that conversation, he'll come on over. Both teams have been chatting a little bit on their benches. It looks like some strategy talk going on, trying to kind of figure out what's happening. Sometimes these official timeouts are a really good thing when they happen early in a game, so that both teams can kind of assess, okay, we planned for this to happen. Is this what's actually happening? Do we need to readjust anything? How are we going to move forward in this game? We've got 20 minutes left, so we're about 1/3 of the way through the first half. And we're still under 25 points for Circle City and 9 for Cornfed. So low scoring. All right, that jam begins. Very quickly establishing lead jammer is Rita Repulsa, coming out very quickly. Melody Mayhem is the other jammer. She is looking to find some space on the inside. She finds it, takes a tumble. Circle City trying to reform around her to really recapture her in the pack. While that's happening, Rita Repulsa comes in on a scoring pass. She is able to score 4 points. Melody has passed the star to Cosmo Payne, who will now be your jammer of record. Cosmo chasing Rita Repulsa down. Rita trying to get through. She is calling the jam before Cosmo can come through and get any points. It does look like she was able to snag 3 out of 4 of those points, bringing the total for that jam to 7 points for Circle City. A timeout has now been called by Cornfed, so they will be taking a quick break to do some more strategy, I'm guessing. All right, I feel like we've seen 4 or 5 people jam already for... I feel like we've seen 4 or 5 people jam already for Circle City. We've seen Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom, Rita Repulsa, Jessie Fisher, Pele's Melee. And for Cornfed, we've seen Rogue, Boggs, Melody, and I think Grizzly Barrett are the ones that we've seen. So we haven't really established a jammer rotation as of yet, and really could be a surprise to see who's lining up next. And as we wait for this time out, there is no one currently in the penalty box. So the next jam will start with all 4 blockers from both teams. And we'll see what happens. There's the whistle, meaning that we will be getting back to Derby shortly. I see Jessie Fisher lining up for Circle City and Miss Adventure lining up for Cornfed. as the jam begins. Both skaters trying to find some space. Jessie pushes forward, but Misadventure is victorious in finding that lead jammer going up the inside line. Jessie down to 2 Circle City blockers. She's trying to get past Boggs and Spinelli. She is able to get through as Misadventure coming in on a scoring pass, doing a spin on the inside to grab those 4 points. Jessie approaching the pack on her scoring pass, but Misadventure is able to call the jam before Jessie can score any points. During all of that confusion, it looks like a directional might have gotten called. I saw Spinelli heading to the box, and I didn't see it happen, but it looks like the pivot, Boggs, is also in the, no, it wasn't Spinelli. I don't know who was called on a directional, but I see USA Me and Boggs sitting in the penalty box for Cornfed. The Circle City side of the penalty box is empty. Pele's Melee for Circle City and Rogue for Cornfed, both trying to find some space. Pele looking to find space on the outside, goes quickly to the inside to establish lead jammer. Rogue looking for a little bit of help, trying to find some offense to be able to get out as Pele's Melee comes around on her first scoring pass. Push to the outside, takes a little bit of a hit there. Looks like a little bit of confusion on the track. Rogue deciding to play some defense instead of offense here to try and keep Pele from scoring any of those points. Big mashup. Pele getting pushed to the outside, getting stuck a little bit. Rogue has passed the start of Boggs, who will now be the jammer for Cornfed. Remember, she is not scoring any points yet, and especially since she doesn't have she has not made an initial pass, but also once she does get out of the pack, she will have to put that jammer star on her head in order to score any points. Boggs is stretching out that pack, trying to get through, gets past that last Cornfed blocker, and Pele still working to get her points, trying to get through that pack to get those points. Pele calls it before Boggs can come around and score any points. With all that really hard work, Pele was able to grab 3 out of those 4 points during that jam. All right, Melody Mayhem is lining up for Cornfed, and I think that's Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom for Circle City. Jam begins pretty slowly. Both jammers trying to find space. Melody sees a hole and grabs it, establishing herself as lead jammer. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom looking to find some offense, hoping for some help from her blockers as Melody's coming around on her first scoring pass. Bibbidi is pulling the pack apart, trying to find that space. She finds it on the outside, is able to get around and get out. Melody looking for some help from her blockers now. She decides to try and grab that last point and call the jam before Circle City can respond. So Cornfed making up a little bit of ground with that one, bringing them up to a total of 16 to Circle City's 34. Penalty box is empty after that one. We were hearing quite a few penalty whistles. Seems like things might have calmed down a little bit, so we'll see how crowded that box remains as we go into the second half of this first half. 15 minutes remaining. Rita Repulsa for Circle City quickly establishing lead jammer on the outside. Grizzly Barrett is your jammer for Cornfed, trying to find some space as Rita is coming around on her first scoring pass. Rita is trying to get around. She is able to tiptoe around the Cornfed while Grizzly Barrett has the star off. She's either going to get through or she's going to pass it to her pivot. Rita coming through again on a scoring pass, takes a hit from Karmakaze but is able to stay in bounds. She finds a hole and is down to one last blocker as Boggs emerges, having taken a star pass, and will now be the jammer of record for Cornfed. Rita coming around. We'll see if she's going to call this jam before Boggs is able to enter the pack. Doesn't look like she's going to, so she's going to let Boggs try to score some points here. She is also working to score some points while both jammers are trying to find some space here. Boggs trying to draw out that pack. Rita looking for and finding a great space on the outside. And Boggs also able to get through for those 4 points. Rita coming around. Beautiful tiptoeing on the inside line after I think she got all 4 points there, and she's able to call the jam before Boggs comes through to score any points of her own. That was a big, big jam for Circle City, 16 points. And that can really happen when you are playing roller derby. A lot of times, both jammers can get out, and then both jammers get around, and only a few points can be scored. But if one jammer gets stuck for a little while, that's really where you can see the points start to add up when you're watching one of these games. Looks like Jessie Fisher for Circle City and Rogue for Cornfed, both trying to make it through a very mixed-up pack. You've got both skaters from both teams kind of everywhere. Jessie pulling that pack apart. No pack is called, which means no hitting anymore because you're too far away from the pack, and Jessie gets out to establish herself as lead jammer. Rogue takes a big hit to the outside and is still trying to find that space. She finds it, but not before Jessie gets through the pack to score 4 more points. Both Jessie and Rogue coming around, both of them eligible to score. Jessie gets through and she grabs all 4 points, and Rogue was able to steal, looks like 2 points on that one. Nope, 1 point, 2 point, 1 point. The ref has switched up 1 point to 2 points multiple times. So it looks like that was 2 points that Rogue stole on that one. Kelly Cloxam went to the penalty box during that failure to reform, I think. So we will start with only 3 Cornfed blockers out on the track for this next jam. Melody Mayhem lining up for Cornfed, and Pele's Melee for Circle City. Pele and Melody both kind of trying to take the same line. Melody sees a great spot on the inside line. Diamond almost catches her, but Melody is able to get through. Pele looking for some space. She comes up against a strong blocking duo as Melody is coming around on her first scoring pass. Both skaters trying to find space, both skaters finding that space. Melody has 1 more blocker to get through. Pele has gone clear of the pack. Melody is now out after scoring 4 points. Let's see if she's gonna call the jam before Pele can score any. She decides not to, so Pele is currently working to score some points. Melody is coming in to enter the pack, wanting to get some points of her own. She is hoping that the Cornfed blockers can hold Pele here while she grabs these points. Pele trying to pull these Cornfed blockers apart as best she can. The further she's getting out, the blockers are having to drop back. So Boggs is currently doing what's called bridging. So she is holding space between the pack, making sure that the pack is together. Pele gets hit to the inside and is forced to recycle, so that pack now squishes together a little bit more. Melody taking a step back to reassess. These packs are so incredibly strong. Both of these jammers really struggling to find that space. Pele getting a little bit of offensive help from Kimbo Slicer, trying to give her some space here, trying to help her jammer get through. Melody is able to get out. The jam ends. I think they both might have gotten those 4 very, very hard-earned points for both teams. Cornfed coming out on top in that jam. However, with Melody having already gone through the pack 1 more time than Pele, so Cornfed was able to score 8 to Circle City's 4. We have 10 minutes left in this half. So we are 2/3 of the way through this half. Lining up for Cornfed is Miss Adventure, and Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom has lined up for Circle City. Right now, Circle City's score is double that of Cornfed. Cornfed really trying to stop Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo. However, she is able to get out. Track cut is called, so she will be going to the penalty box. Great opportunity for Miss Adventure, who is trying to get out of the pack. Takes a huge hit from Roem Over, and who keeps her from getting out of the pack. However, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom still in the penalty box. This is a power jam for Cornfed. Great opportunity for them to score some points here. Misadventure trying to find some space, takes a huge hit from Elsie Hammer. She's coming up to recover from that, looking for some help. Takes a hit from Frau Blocker. Misadventure is just getting hit from all the Circle City blockers out there. Misadventure takes another hit to the inside line. Getting back up, looking for some space as Circle City, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom has served her penalty. She's now coming out of the box. Misadventure still the lead jammer, trying to find some space, trying to get out and be able to score some of these points. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom, immediately upon coming out of the penalty box, is just getting stuck in a very strong wall of Circle City or Cornfed blockers. Both jammers working incredibly hard to try and find that space. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom taking off the star. She finds some space on the outside. She only has Spinelli to pass. She is able to get through Spinelli on the outside line. Cornfed blockers come back to give Misadventure that help that she is asking for. She sees a space on the inside and she is able to get out. She calls the jam, but not before Circle City can steal 1 point from Cornfed on that jam. There is an official timeout, so they are reviewing something here. That was so slow, and that was so tiring. I'm exhausted, and I'm just sitting here drinking a Diet Coke. I'm not sponsored, but I enjoy Diet Coke. I just can't believe that, like, that was such a long jam, and Misadventure was working so hard during that jam, really trying to find that offensive help from her blockers, and she was just not able to get through. She was, and really the Cornfed blockers were doing a great, or Circle City blockers were doing a great job. I think every single one of them had really great hits there, so definitely some really effective blocking. It was really important for Circle City to really hold Cornfed, especially once they established lead jammer there. That was really something that they needed to do because that was a great opportunity for Cornfed, and unfortunately they weren't able to translate that into the points that they wanted to. I'm not sure why, but Kelly Clocksome reported to the penalty box during that timeout. So something must have been reviewed, and they must have realized that there was some sort of penalty there. So Cornfed will be starting this next jam 1 blocker down. All right. I see Rogue for Circle City lining up against the dancing Rita Repulsa from Circle City, Rogue from Cornfed. Okay, 2 teams that start with C. This is not an easy thing to announce. I'm going to work as hard as I can to not switch these 2 teams, but when they all start with the same letter, you know, alliteration is hard. Okay, we're about to get started again. As we begin, both skaters go to the outside line. Both skaters are stopped. Rogue decides to play some offense and pushes Rita Repulsa out. She gives her a look and quickly finds some space on the inside, but a track cut is called and Rita will be reporting to the penalty box. Great strategy there by Cornfed. I'm not sure exactly how they did that, but now Rogue has a chance to grab lead jammer. She just has 1 blocker to pass, and she does, so Cornfed now has an opportunity to score points on this power jam. Rita Repulsa still in the penalty box as Rogue comes around on her first scoring pass. She approaches the pack. Cornfed sweeps to the outside to try and create some space for Rogue to get through. They are able to, and Rogue scores 4 points as Rita Repulsa comes out of the penalty box. This is not a scoring pass for Rita Repulsa. She has not made her initial, so she will need to make it through as Rogue comes around to try and score another 4 points. She's not getting a lot of help here because everyone is focused on defense at the moment. But Rogue is able to break that pack apart and get through for 4 more points. Rita tries to take a jump to the inside. She is unfortunately forced to recycle by Kelly Cloxam. Rogue coming around. She's now scored 8 points. She's looking to make it 12 as Rita gets out of the pack. So when Rita comes around again, she will be able to score points. Rogue, seeing that Rita is coming, calls the jam. That was some much needed points for Cornfed Roller Derby. They were down by 31, I think, before that jam, and they are now down by 20. So they made up some really good ground, scoring 11 points in that jam to start to cut into that lead that Circle City has. With only a little bit over 5 minutes left in the period, Jessie Fisher is lining up for Circle City. And is that Melody for Cornfed? All right, very quickly, Mel finds some space on the inside line to establish herself as lead jammer. Jessie looking for some help from her blockers. She is forced to recycle by Boggs. Melody entering the pack on her first scoring pass. Jessie has the star off, but she is dragging that pack apart. She is down to 2 Cornfed blockers that she needs to pass. She finds some space on the inside line to get around Spinelli. She is out back to Melody, who is on a scoring pass right now. She is able to get past, score 4 points for Cornfed, and call the jam before Jessie is able to score any points. I did hear a penalty whistle at the end, and it looks like Cosmo, Cornfed's pivot, will be sitting in the penalty box. So we will start this next jam. She's just kind of says, I don't know. She's not sure what happened there. So we will be starting the next jam down a pivot for Cornfed. I don't think was no ground made on that one. Looks like both. I didn't think Circle City scored. I guess they did. So no ground made. Both teams got 4 points on that last one. As we start this jam, is that Pele's Melee for Circle City and Grizzly Barrett for Cornfed. Diamond is playing some offense this time, trying to help Pele get through as Grizzly is getting recycled. Pele is out, but is not lead jammer. Is anybody lead jammer? Both skaters getting stuck, really stuck in the pack. I'm not seeing a lead jammer. Do you see? I don't know if one's been established. All right, Pele Melee, she is through. And Grizzly Barrett getting recycled to the back of the pack. We've got 1 minute left in this jam, so if there is no lead jammer, then we are gonna go for a whole nother minute. Grizzly is still really getting stuck there in that pack, getting forced to recycle. Pele getting forced to recycle. Grizzly getting forced to recycle. Both skaters really just trying to find some space. Looks like everybody's doing a little offense, defense. That pack is real mixed up, but Pele takes an opportunity when she sees a hole to keep going and finding that space. Grizzly getting pushed to the inside, forced to recycle. Taking that star off. She's going to be potentially looking for a pivot. Cosmo is out of the penalty box, so would be able to take that star, and she does as Pele comes around to score another 4 points. Cosmo down to just Diamond, getting pushed to the outside, forced to recycle. As Pele comes around, Cosmo decides to play some defense. Pushed to the inside by Diamond. Is able to get through, and the jam ends. What a long, hard-fought jam. At the end of that jam, it looks like someone was called on a back block. Circle City, Diamond will be serving a penalty starting at the beginning of this next jam. Looks like during that jam, Cornfed was unable to make any progress on that one. Circle City was able to score 11 points. So Circle City, in a reverse from the last jam, will be starting this jam without a pivot. Bibbidi bobbidi boom for Circle City and Rogue for Cornfed. Bibbidi pulling to the front quickly. She pulls the pack apart and they're forced to let her go. But Rogue is right behind her and is racing to try and force her to call this jam, which she does. Nice strategy on Rogue's part. She was like, I'm just going to run as fast as I can, because if I can force you to call it before you score points, I would really like to do that. So no points scored for either team. We've got less than 2 minutes left in this half, which means we will probably only have one more jam. Diamond is still in the penalty box. So that was a really quick jam, and Diamond was unfortunately unable to get out of the penalty box on that one. So Circle City will start down a pivot again. And I think Circle City has one more person in the penalty box. So Melody only has 2 Circle City blockers that she needs to get past in order to establish lead jammer. But it is not going to be an easy fight to get through these 2 blockers. She is able to get through. Rita Repulsa getting pushed to the inside, takes a little bit of a spill, being forced to recycle as Melody comes through on her first scoring pass. Pushed to the inside by Diamond, who's out of the penalty box. And Rita does a very pretty spin and a tiptoe and is able to get out as Melody continues to try scoring points. Takes a big push to the inside. Diamond was ready to recycle her, and Karma was right there ready to say, oh, no, we're not going to go recycling her all the way back. But it didn't really matter because Mel was calling the jam anyway after getting 3 points to try and make up some ground with a score of 48 Cornfed, 76 Circle City. We only have 17 seconds left, so I'm not sure if we're going to be able to start this next jam. And a timeout is called with 8 seconds left on the clock. So we do get one more jam. It's looks like, is that a Circle City timeout? Oh, it looks like an official review potentially. What? Yeah, the scoreboard is saying official review. Sorry, I said what to my husband, who's clearly not on the mic. I'm just conversing with myself here. So as we wait, please join us. We're going to take a small break after this half for everybody to kind of reset and get ready for the second half. But do not forget, we have one more game after this. The Circle City Party Crashers will be taking on Cornfed's Muncie Misfits. So we will have Derby coming to you for the next few hours. Do not forget to like and subscribe. We are looking to grow our YouTube channel, so please go ahead and take a look. We're hoping to be doing more Central Indiana Midwest Roller Derby this season. We've got lots of great things coming up, so you can find us on YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. Also, Camera One, my child, is doing a fabulous job operating a camera for the first time. The other child he's been just enjoying playing on his phone. But at least I don't have to call and check on them and make sure they're doing okay, because I can just look over on this family Derby date night. All right, let's see what happens in this last jam of the first half. Jessie Fisher and Miss Adventure will be your jammers. Miss Adventure looking to find some space on the inside, and she is shut down, so she goes to the outside where she finds that space to establish herself as lead jammer. However, Jessie Fisher also gets out and is in front of Miss Adventure. So Miss Adventure is controlling it, but she has to call it because Jessie was going to try and take some points. And that will bring us to intermission. So we will be back in 15 minutes. With a score of 76-49, Circle City is currently leading Cornfed, but in the game of roller derby, 25-30 points is not very many. A lot can change very quickly, and we look forward to joining you in just a little bit. Welcome back to Derby Date Night Family Edition. We just had some stress as we were about to go back to Derby and my husband, technical producer, was nowhere to be found, and I learned that I don't know how to start the live stream. But luckily, we're here, he's here, and we got the live stream going. He just wanted to get my blood pressure up a little bit, but we are back. The kids are fed and got some water, and after a break, we're getting back to some roller derby. So, after one very hard played first half, Circle City is at 76 points to Cornfed's 49 points. Both teams have been doing a really great job. Both teams' defenses are incredibly strong. These walls are so hard to get through, and these jammers have been working incredibly hard to try and get through these really strong walls. So I'm interested to see if any of the strategy is going to be changing in the second half. But this has been a very slow-moving game. All right, Jessie Fisher and Melody Mayhem are lining up as the jammers. A little bit of a tumble up with Jessie in the back of the pack as Mel pulls the two Circle City blockers forward to get out as your lead jammer. A couple Circle City blockers started the half in the penalty box left over from the last half. Jessie is still trying to find her way out of the pack as Mel is coming through on her first scoring pass, getting pushed to the inside by, looks like, Polly. Forced to recycle. Jessie looking for her pivot. She's able to pass the panty to Diamond, who is now out as the jammer on record. A little jammer on jammer action. Diamond pushing Mel to the inside and dancing in front of her. Could be a little bit of a long trip for these two jammers to get through as they are now both on scoring passes. Mel has already gone through one scoring pass to score 4 points, and after a little bit of fun with Diamond, decides that's enough, I'm not going to let you score any points, and calls the jam and ends it with a big hug between the two skaters. It's all in good fun. But, eight points for Cornfed. Looks like she made it through twice. Wonderful. So Cornfed coming in strong at the beginning of the second half to try and start making up some of this deficit. Circle City now out there with a full complement of blockers. So all 4 blockers for both teams are out there. Nobody's in the penalty box. Cosmo Payne lining up as Cornfed's jammer for the first time, and Pele's Melee lining up for Circle City, getting out, finding some space going right up the middle to establish herself as lead jammer. Cosmo getting stuck behind a very strong wall, looking for one-hit Wanda to pass the star to. Wasn't able to do it, so is trying to go around on the outside while Pele's Melee is coming through on her first scoring pass. Got pushed to the middle, got a little bit of a tripod to get through here. Both jammers looking to try and find space. Cosmo still, she's not on a scoring pass. This is still the initial. Pele is scoring points right now for every Cornfed blocker she can pass. She is able to squeeze through on the inside to grab 4 points. Cosmo continuing to look for the pivot to see if she can find some space or something. She is able to do a little bit of a dip on the outside to get around and get out. While that's happening, Pele's Melee gets through the pack again for another 4 points. So Cosmo is approaching the pack on her first scoring pass, and Pele might call it here, and she might let Cosmo try to score. Looks like she's going to let Cosmo try to score. So both jammers are in the pack. Both jammers are scoring points right now. Pele took a little bit of a big hit and needed a second. She's refiguring kind of what's happening while Cosmo is stuck behind a really strong wall. Wanda in there trying to help play some offense. It looks like one of Circle City's blockers coming up to help Pele try and find that space. Both jammers just getting stuck in these really strong tripods, trying to get their way through, trying to figure out a way to break them apart. Cosmo steps back, takes a little bit of a reevaluation. Pele forcing a blocker to draw back, and a Cornfed blocker gets called on a penalty, and both Cornfed blockers get called on penalties and are forced to let Pele through, so she is able to score all of those points and also send 2 of Cornfed's blockers to the penalty box. Cornfed scored 3 on that jam, while Circle City scored 12. But this next jam, as I said, we had 2 Cornfed blockers go to the penalty box, so we will be starting this jam with a little bit of a deficit for Cornfed, while Circle City has all 4 of their blockers out on the line. Number 12s for both teams lining up. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom for Circle City and Rogue for Cornfed. And in typical fashion, Rogue likes to play a little bit of defense at the beginning of a jam. After that is through. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom breaking up that Cornfed pack with a little bit of help from Diamond in order to establish lead jammer. Rogue taking that star off, looking for a pivot in Spinelli, who grabs the pivot. She is now the jammer. Took a hit from Diamond. Diamond was recycling her, took a hit from Rogue, so Spinelli didn't have to recycle as much. As this is happening, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom coming through on a scoring pass. She is able to score all 4 points. Spinelli trying to tiptoe up the line to get out of this pack, and she is struggling. Very quick moves from everybody. Really hard to get through. Looking for some offensive help from Boggs. She is able to find it to get through and is now putting that star on as your jammer. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom still on a scoring pass. Spinelli entering on her first scoring pass. A beautiful little apex jump to grab all 4 points. Pele's Melee down to 1 blocker to pass here, looking for some help from her teammate to try and get past Boggs. She calls it before Spinelli can come in and score any more points, but not before stealing those 4 points right there. So that jam, Circle City was able to score 4 points, but Cornfed was able to pass to a pivot, and love it when a pivot is able to score some points and even do a really pretty apex jump in the middle of it. Our next jam is number 24, Rita Repulsa for Circle City, and who is that? Misadventure for Cornfed. As the jam begins, both jammers coming in. Rita looking for some space on the inside line, but she unfortunately is called on a track cut when she was tiptoeing. She must have stepped out just a little bit, which means this is a power jam for Cornfed. Misadventure looking for some help. There were some power jams in the first half where Cornfed was not able to translate that into a big score. So this is an opportunity here for Cornfed to really take advantage of this power jam. But first, Misadventure has got to get through this incredibly strong tripod. Daisy Doom coming in to provide some offensive help to give Misadventure some space on the inside. So she is now coming around on her scoring pass. Rita Repulsa is standing and coming back in. So Rita is in and quickly dances in an inside line to get through. She's not scoring points though, because that was not a scoring pass. However, Misadventure on her own scoring pass decides to call the jam before Rita can come around and score any points, but not before grabbing 1 point. That was real fast derby. Everybody was doing some really good hard work there. Lots of really great teamwork with these walls, and I'm noticing both teams are really utilizing the use of someone playing offense, and that's really what's helping them to help those jammers get through, because the jammers really are needing a little help with how strong these walls are. Very quick, Amy playing some offense on the strong tripod of Circle City to help Mel get through, but Jessie is right behind her, also getting through as well. This is going to be a race between these former teammates and best friends to see who is going to be able to score some points. The pack is moving fast. Nobody wants anybody to score points here, and Mel has to call the jam. Nobody's able to score any points, but I think they had a lot of fun not scoring any points in that jam. Someone in the background is throwing a stuffed monkey up and down, and it really scared me because I thought it was a cat, but it is a stuffed monkey and no one is throwing a cat in the air. But that was a little terrifying because, you know, we should all spay and neuter our animals and take care of them and go to the local animal shelter to adopt animals and not throw them up in the air, which was not happening. All right, we're starting the next jam. We have got a quick lead jammer established by Pele's Melee, while Mel, is Mel jamming again? Okay, Mel lined up to jam again. She's getting recycled to the outside, takes that star off, while Pele's Melee comes in on her first scoring pass. Mel takes a step back to reevaluate the situation, while Pele is trying to get through on the scoring pass. A very rotating, circle-y, spinny pack of Cornfed blockers. She's pulling that pack apart, though, and so Cornfed is being forced to drop some blockers back. Mel finding no room in this tough blocking trio of Circle City skaters. She's really just trying to push and spin and find some space. Pele finally able to get out. Mel does a star pass. One-hit Wanda will now be skating for Cornfed. Pele's melee coming through on her second scoring pass. Finds some space on the outside, very easily scoring those 4 points. Wanda approaching the pack on her first time as a jammer, scoring 4 points, going through practically untouched to get those points. Pele's melee now trying to score a few more points. Very, very strong wall. She just hits that wall and she calls the jam before Wanda can score any more points, but not before sneaking through another pivot, scoring 4 points again. Circle City has now broken the 100 mark, so they are now at 104 to Cornfed Roller Derby's 69. There's still, I think there was about this many points between them when we went to halftime. So they're like, nobody's pulling away. Every time Circle City is scoring, Cornfed is responding, continuing to really stay fairly close to each other. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom for Circle City and Rogue for Cornfed, starting this slow-moving jam. Amy going in to provide some offense for Rogue, but that door is shut. Rogue moving to the outside, trying to find some space. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom looking to stretch that pack out, trying to break apart this trio of Cornfed blockers. She's pulling apart, she's stretching. Lead jammer has still not been established. She has to get past all 4 of the blockers in order to be established as lead jammer. She's down to 1 blocker left, and she is able to get through Spinelli's hips to be able to called as lead jammer. While that is happening, Rogue has gotten stuck behind these Cornfed blockers. She's taken the star off and is looking to kind of reassess. So she decides to do some defense with a push to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom. She switches to defense, and while she was doing that, she did a very stealthy pass to Spinelli, who was the pivot and is now the jammer of record. As that is happening, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boo is trying to find that space. As Spinelli approaches the pack, she calls the jam, but she didn't call it quite in time because Spinelli was able to steal 1 point. All right, at some point during that jam, a Circle City blocker was sent to the penalty box, so we will start the next jam down 1 blocker. My husband is giving me signals, but I don't know what they mean. So, all right. We are starting this next jam. Rita Repulsa for Circle City and Cosmo Payne for Cornfed. I hear someone from the bench yelling slow, so that means somebody's strategy is to try and keep this as slow as possible. And that is definitely working, as we have not even made it to turn 1, and this pack is like, it's moving like an inch, and it's not moving very much. Daisy coming through to do some offense to try and help break this apart to give her jammer some opportunities. Both jammers very stuck, trying to kind of just look, reassess. Well, that went long enough that the Cornfed skater, that Polly, who was in the penalty box, was able to get out, come right in, provide some offensive help for Rita to get her out. While that was happening, Cosmo also getting out. So another jammer on jammer race to see. Cosmo is going to be trying to get in front of Rita and force her to call it. Rita is not going to call it. She is going to just go right in, spin through the pack to get through for 4 points. Cosmo's still stuck in that pack, trying to find some space, looking to figure out a way through. As Rita comes in on another scoring pass, Cosmo is being forced to recycle. Rita going to the outside. Cornfed blockers really just recycling and trying to stay in front of Rita as she is dancing them from side to side. Both walls have now reestablished themselves pretty solidly, and both jammers are having a really hard time getting through. Rita taking a push, getting through on the outside on 1 skate after that push. It was very close, but she was able to get through. Cosmo getting recycled to the back. She is taking off the star, decides to try and play some defense, is unable to do so. Rita coming through to score some more points, and comes up against that same tripod that she was getting a little stuck with before, trying to decide which way to go, going to the outside, and that jam went the full 2 minutes. And in 2 minutes of trying to play very, very slow derby, which got a little bit faster and faster as the jam went on, Circle City scored 11 points to Cornfed's 3 points. Taking a new strategy, looks like the blockers, nope, they all went to the pivot line, and now they're coming right back to the jammer line to get started in this next jam with Jesse Fisher lining up for Circle City and Melody Mayhem for Cornfed Roller Derby. We're starting out with another very slow pack. I think Amy was recycling Jesse and Mel trying to find some space in with this Circle City tripod, which she found a little space, and then they were able to reform right back around her. While that's happening, Jesse is trying to pull apart that Cornfed tripod. Kelly Cloxam sees her doing it and pushes her out, but is not able to recycle her. But then Jesse goes to the inside and gets pushed in there, but after all of that swishing and moving back and forth, Jesse is able to get out and establish herself as lead jammer. Mel down to only 2 blockers left to get through for Cornfed, or for Circle City, while Jesse comes in on her first scoring pass. She does a little juke to her old derby name to get through for 4 points. Mel is also through, and she is now on her first scoring pass. Let's see if Jesse is going to let her run it and try and score some points, or if she is going to... Yep, we're going to run this. Jesse getting recycled to the back. Mel is scoring points, and she is through. So she is able to score those 4 points while Jesse's getting a little bit tangled up in the pack here. And she calls the jam. Looks like 5 points scored in that jam for Circle City to Cornfed's 4 points. There is an official timeout. It looks like Cornfed is requesting an official review. So we will be taking a quick break for our zebras to listen to what it is that the coaches are saying that they saw, and then they will discuss and decide whether or not they agree. So a lot of times official reviews happen when a lot of times coaches decide to do official reviews when they're trying to get a penalty called on a jammer, just because that's a really, that's your point scoring person. So if you can get them in the penalty box, that's a really good opportunity. But sometimes they just see something that wasn't called. In roller derby, if a ref does not see something, though, they cannot call it. So what will happen is whatever was seen by Cornfed, they will discuss it with the refs, which they just did. And now the refs are going to go, and they're going to all talk to each other and decide, did anybody have eyes on it? Did anybody see it? And if somebody saw it, then they might issue a penalty. But if nobody saw it, then there can be no penalty issued. So we'll be taking a quick break for them to talk and discuss and decide whether or not they agree with this official review. And while we're paused for an official timeout, I will remind you again that we can be found on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, which is what you're watching right now. This feed will be available for you to watch with your family and friends at any point. You can also see our previous live streams that we have done if you'd like to see. We've done some games for Team Indiana, for Fort Wayne, and of course for our home team, Cornfed Roller Derby. So if you want to see more derby, you can just check out our history of our live videos, and you can see those. We've got less than 15 minutes left in this second half, so this game will be over in a little bit. But don't forget to stick around, because we have one more game after this. Looks like the refs have reached a decision, so they have called the captains and coaches back from each team to let them know what their decision is. Unfortunately, we're not allowed to have any microphones there, so we only get to guess what happened, and usually the only way we know that anything happened is when we see someone go sit in the penalty box. It'd be nice to have them take a mic and tell us what happened. I would enjoy that. Everybody has smiles. Ogre is going over to the scoreboard to talk to them about something. As we get ready for derby to begin again, hopefully shortly. Well, since we'll never know, I will have to probably make something up, and I'll think of something creative. Penalty for unicorn on the track. That's what we'll go with. Okay, Spinelli is jamming for Cornfed. I think this is the first time she's put the star on at the beginning of a jam. And we've got Pele's Melee for Circle City, who's been jamming quite a bit today. I would be exhausted if I was her. She's been, I think, really in practically every third jam. So great job to her. Another slow pack getting started, just coming around. Spinelli trying to find space on the outside while Pele's Melee is looking for space on the inside. Karma trying to play some offense for Spinelli, letting her know, I'm making some space for you on the inside. But Spinelli doesn't see it, but Pele's Melee does and is able to get through for lead jammer. Spinelli trying to still get out of that pack as Pele's Melee is coming through for a scoring pass. Spinelli does get out while Circle City's pivot is headed to the box. Pele's Melee on her scoring pass. Spinelli entering the pack, trying to score herself. Pele's Melee called it, I think, before Spinelli was able to score any points. Yeah, it looks like Spinelli was not able to get any points scored, but not for lack of trying. Pele was able to snag 3 points there, score being Circle City 124 to Cornfed 78. All right, the jam begins at the pivot line. So we will be starting this jam a little bit further up since the blockers decided to start there. Misadventure jamming for Cornfed, getting recycled to the inside, and Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom is your jammer for Circle City. She's stretching that pack out down to 2 Cornfed blockers that she needs to get past, and she is able to. They have to let her go, so she will establish herself as lead jammer. Meanwhile, Misadventure looking to find some space, trying to push that pack apart while Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom is coming in on her first scoring pass. This pack is moving incredibly fast. Misadventure has the jammer star off. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom has stretched out the pack again. Gets pushed to the inside by Kelly Clopsom, who is forcing her to recycle, while Misadventure is getting pushed to the outside by, looks like, Row M Over, and she is being forced to recycle. Having struggled to make much progress, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom is forced to call that jam, but not before scoring 4 points. Thank you so much. I was saying that I was really wanting to know, and I was just informed by Ogre, our wonderful ref, that the penalty requested by White was a track cut on Black Jammer, and Black Jammer did go out of bounds, but also correctly ceded their position to White, and there was no penalty. So that is why no one went to the box, and that is what was requested. That was lovely to find that out. In the meantime, a jam has started where no one has moved, and it has just been still. So I am able to tell you that Rita Repulsa is your jammer for Circle City, and Melody Mayhem is the jammer for Cornfed. And they are both really, really stuck in this pack. It's just a mix-up of both teams here. Both jammers trying to find any sort of space. Rita tiptoeing through the inside. Wanda tries to hit her out. She is unable to, and Rita is able to get out as your lead jammer for Circle City. Mel, still stuck behind a tripod of Circle City blockers, is not able to get out. Rita in on a scoring pass is able to get past the blockers to score 4 points. Mel passed the star to Cosmo Payne, who will now be your jammer for Cornfed as Rita is approaching the pack with Cosmo right behind her. She calls the jam, trying to keep Cosmo from scoring any points. Let's see what happens. Cosmo was able to steal a point there. Rita grabbed 2 to bring her total to 6, while Cosmo was able to steal 1. All right, we're at 133 to 78 with less than 10 minutes to go in this game. Spinelli's going to be jamming for Cornfed, and Jesse will be jamming for Circle City. as the jam begins. A little bit more spread out pack this time, not as solid as the last one. Everybody's kind of spread out. I'm hearing them yell slow again, so trying to keep it slow here. Both jammers really getting stuck behind the packs are just rotating. Diamond trying to play some offense for Jessie, unable to find that door to open, but Spinelli finds it to establish lead jammer as Jessie is called on a penalty and headed to the box, giving Cornfed a power jam and an opportunity to make up some points here. That pack is moving really fast while Jessie's sitting in the box. Spinelli takes a huge hit from, I think that was Pierre Polly, and she is forced to recycle. Coming back in, she gets those 4 points and is coming around while Jessie is still sitting in the box, meaning she has more than 10 seconds left. Spinelli entering on her second pass, takes a hit from Diamond, but is able to stay inbounds, and Boggs is playing some offense for Spinelli, trying to help her find that space. Spinelli is down to 3 blockers. Jessie re-entering. She is now back in and playing. Boggs playing offense for Spinelli, able to find her some space on the outside, while Jessie is in, trying to get through. This pack is all sorts of broken up. Jessie spins, tries to stay in. Kelly hits her, but unfortunately goes out herself, and so Jessie is able to keep going. Spinelli entering on her third pass. Unfortunately, the skater who hit her is going to the box. As Jessie approaches the pack, Spinelli calls it. What a successful jam for Cornfed there, able to make up some ground, scoring a total of... They're doing the math right now, so I'll be able to let you know the total in a second. 9 points. So they are up to 89 to Cornfed's 133. That was a really interesting jam. It started off really slow, but the packs were a little bit more broken up this time, and I think Cornfed found real success when those packs started moving fast. They were able to keep them a little bit more broken up there. So starting this jam, we've got Pele's Melee tiptoeing and just deciding to push through, but getting a little stuck. Misadventure also a little stuck, getting pushed to the inside. Pele continuing to push, and I am hearing whistle after whistle after whistle as people are going to the penalty box. Looks like one blocker from each team. In all the confusion, Pele has pulled apart the Cornfed pack to establish herself as lead jammer. Misadventure pushed to the outside, and Vivi thought she had her, but she did not go out of bounds and was able to get through. Pele's Melee just got through, scoring 4 points as Misadventure is coming in on her first scoring pass. Pele's Melee is not going to call it, going to let Misadventure try to get her points, which she does on one skate. Pele's Melee coming in on yet another scoring pass. Taking advantage of the fact that blockers are in the box, she scores those 4 points pretty easily. Misadventure also coming through and doing the same exact thing. This is like 4 points, 4 points. Everybody's just like, okay, I'm going to score 4, then you score 4. Pretty much matching each other point for point here. That pack is now a little bit more. We've got everybody out on the track. So those packs got stronger, and Pele decided to call it. So Circle City getting the advantage there, scoring 12 points to Cornfed's 8. So since I made a wish about having the lives, about knowing what the things are, I think I could make more wishes and have them come true, because that was pretty cool that I said, I wish I knew. And then the refs came over and let us know what that official review was. So I'll have to think about my other wishes. But Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom jamming for Circle City and Melody Mayhem for Cornfed. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom is definitely up against a very slow Cornfed wall. Mel has been able to pull this Circle City wall a little bit more forward. A big tangle up between Rogue and Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom, leading to Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom getting sent to the penalty box. So she will be in the penalty box. Melody Mayhem, having still not established herself as lead jammer yet, will have a power jam. She just needs to get past one more blocker to be able to establish herself as lead jammer, which she does after one full lap of derby. So now she'll be coming around to try and score some points. If she can make it through to score just this scoring pass, will take Cornfed over the 100 mark. So let's see how Melody does. She asks for some offense from her team. They do some hits. The pack is starting to move quickly. Mel is getting stuck around Diamond. She's got 3 blockers to get through. I think she's gotten at least 2 points already. 3. Let's see if she can get all 4 while Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom is entering back into the pack. Mel gets through with those 4 points, bringing Cornfed over the 100 mark. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom in the pack. That was not a scoring pass, but she did get through the pack and is now eligible to score the next time she comes around. As Mel approaches the pack, she is going to try to see what she can do. She is able to get through. She pushes herself forward to make sure her hips are in front to get those 4 points and score those before Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom can come in and score any points. Oh, did she get that last point? I'm seeing only 7 points on that one, but Cornfed was able to make up some great ground there, bringing them into the 100 mark. Circle City 145 to Cornfed 104. I see, is that Spinelli for Cornfed and Rita Repulsa for Circle City. And nobody is moving. I know I heard the whistle. These walls, oh my goodness, so hard to get through. Both jammers really getting stuck. Both jammers, oh, beautiful hop by Rita. Rita has been really using that hop today to get around these really tough walls. So Rita is lead jammer. Spinelli getting out and is not lead jammer as Rita enters for her first scoring pass. She is down to, I think she got all 4 points there before she called it, before Spinelli could come in and score any points. She did. She was able to grab those 4 points and call that jam. Circle City almost at the 150 mark. We have 3 minutes left to go in this game. But don't forget, there will be a small break and then one more game after this when Circle City's Party Crashers take on Cornfed's Muncie Misfits. Mel is lining up for Cornfed and Jesse Fisher for Circle City. I'm hearing some whistles, which means Diamond raised her hand to volunteer to go to the penalty box on that one, as Jessie was able to establish herself as lead jammer. Mel looking for some offense from Boggs, but unfortunately gets pushed to the outside, but then finds that offense and ends up right in front of where Jessie's path was, and Jessie accidentally runs into Mel and is going to the penalty box. So Circle City is both the jammer and the pivot are in the penalty box right now. Mel is not lead jammer, which means this jam will go the full 2 minutes. She is still trying to get through the remaining Cornfed blockers as Diamond re-enters. So now we've got all 4 Circle City blockers out there. Mel did pass the star to Boggs, and so Boggs will now be your jammer of record, which means Mel will be helping to do some defense. Boggs comes in and is really trying to stretch this pack out. Jessie is now standing, so she has less than 10 seconds to go until she comes back in. Boggs has 3 Circle City blockers to get through as Jessie re-enters the pack. Boggs trying to stretch this out, but it is a hard pack to stretch out and a hard pack to get through. Trying to find some space. Jessie is recycled to the inside by Rogue. They both go down. Boggs is still trying to find that space, still trying to break people apart. And she finds some space on the inside and is able to get through. In the meantime, Jessie has the star off, so she is thinking about passing to the pivot, but is not able to find her. Finds some space on the inside, tries to go to the outside, falls. Boggs coming through on the inside untouched. Everyone getting a little distracted by the dust up happening on the outside of the track there. Diamond is now the jammer of record. She has taken a pass and will now be trying to score points of her own as Bog enters the pack, getting pushed to the outside by Jessie, who is now a blocker, a role she hasn't played in quite a while. Boggs and Jessie do a little do-si-do as that jam ends with a very successful scoring rally by Cornfed. 9 points for Cornfed to Circle City's 4. Circle City is now over the 150 mark. We have 17 seconds left in this game, so hopefully we can get one more jam before this game ends. Hopefully this has been a fun game for you to watch. It's been a fun one for me to stream. I hope that you'll be able to join us for more of Circle City's home games this season, as well as Cornfed's home games this season. So Spinelli is your lead jammer in what is likely what is going to be the last jam. So she will run this jam. Pele doing a quick jump over to be able to get through. Spinelli on a scoring pass. This pack is starting to spread out and move quickly as Pele is coming up to try and score some points of her own. Spinelli getting pushed to the outside. Pele finding some space to get right up the middle. Spinelli is reporting to the penalty box, which means since she was lead jammer when she went, that this jam will go the full 2 minutes. So we have 1 minute and 15 seconds left in this game as Pele comes around to try and score some more points. She is able to get through the middle right there, and she just kind of pushes her way through to score those 4 points. Spinelli is still sitting in the penalty box. She will be there for just a little bit longer, but she will be able to come out and have a little bit more derby before the end of this game. Pele approaching the pack. Daisy trying to play some defense, unable to get her pushed out. There is a penalty called on someone, I'm not sure who, as Spinelli re-enters the, track cut called on Pele's melee. So jammer switch, now Spinelli is back in to try and score some points. She's got a little bit over 30 seconds to do so. Push to the inside, trying to be recycled. Roem Overs trying to recycle her, but unable to do so. Spinelli continuing to look for some help, find some space on the outside to hop right over to get those 4 points. Pele standing, she might get to come in and play a little bit more derby, so maybe we'll have both jammers in for the end of this jam. As Spinelli approaches the pack, she looks for some space on the inside, cannot find it. With 10 seconds left in this game, both jammers are now in. A penalty is called on someone, but we've only got 5 seconds left. Pele's being recycled. Spinelli got through for 4 points, and that is the end of the game. Both jammers, looks like they scored 8 points each during that jam. Nope, 10 points for Circle City and 8 for Cornfed, leaving us with an unofficial score of 163 to 121. What a fun game between these two teams who are so close to each other and have such a long history. What a great game on both sides, and I'm sure the rematch will happen soon and everyone will look forward to it. Thanks for being here for this game. Don't forget to stick around. We have another game coming up. I don't know what, probably within like 30 minutes, 30, 40 minutes. So I'll type something in the chat and let you know once we know a countdown. But thanks for watching. Thanks for being here. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Have a great afternoon. Welcome to Derby Date Night on the Road, Family Edition. This evening, we are pleased to be bringing you roller derby action live from Indianapolis, Indiana. You've got me, Aria Kidding Me, on the mic with Seriously, my husband, producer, director, and dude of all technical things on the switchboard. We are switching things up a bit today. We have traveled all the way from Muncie, Indiana, home of Cornfed roller derby, but even more exciting, this is a family edition of Derby Date Night. We usually leave our kids at home, but today we brought them with us. Our oldest, LOL, is on one of our cameras, and our youngest is standing by. Reluctantly, he's going to help us if we need him to. And we sure are excited to get out of the house to enjoy this doubleheader day of Derby. You can find us here on YouTube. You can also find us on Instagram and Facebook. Like and subscribe to find out where you can join us next. But enough about Derby Date Night. Let's get to the reason you are here today. You are joining us now for our second game of the day. Circle City's Party Crashers are taking on Cornfed's Muncie Misfits. Both Circle City and Cornfed Roller Derby have two teams, and while our game earlier today was a competitive sanctioned game, the second game is a B-level game, which means we may see some newer skaters or skaters trying out positions they are not as used to. Don't be fooled though, this will still be a very competitive game as these two rival teams have traded wins and losses many times, so this should be a very exciting matchup. Let's get to who we're going to be watching today. For Cornfed, we have number 1, One Hit Wanda, number 12, Rogue, 1970, Lavender Menace, 2152, Ragin' Raven, 222, Elizabeth, 28, Debbie Darko, 313, Misadventure, 43, Daisy Doom, 46, Grizzly Barrett, 4726, Soul Seeker, 610, Alexecutioner, 64, Adderall, 77, Goldie Blocks, 911, Ziggy Zig Ah, and in her first game, 926, Severina Slammer. For your home team, Circle City Roller Derby Party Crashers, we have number 12, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom. Number 103, Killdeer. Number 188, Marie Fury. Number 262, Fearless Fairy. Number 317, Kimbo Slicer. Number 383, Frau Blocker. Number 418, Straighter. Number 5202, Serotonin. Number 522, Lego Blocks. Number 55, Mad Splatter. Number 572, Row 'em Over. Number 666, Beauty the Beastly. Number 765, Battison. Number 77, Jaja Stabor. And number 9110, Killer Queen. We've also got some wonderful officials who help make these games run. So today on our officials team, we have got Ogre, Fiend, Darth Blue, Bambi, Alpha Toradozer, Pam Turner, Andy Turner, Eggs Benedict, Ranger Danger, Heathem Danger, Tweety, Melody Mayhem, and Bethley Hallows. As we get ready to get started, we just finished up a sanctioned game between the Circle City Socialites and the Cornfed All-Stars. Socialites won that game 163 to Cornfed's 121. So we will see how these two next teams do in this game. And that whistle means the game has begun. We have Battison jamming for Circle City and Adderall jamming for Cornfed Roller Derby. As we get started, both jammers trying to find their way through. Everybody just kind of getting settled in and seeing what are we doing here. So Battison is trying to stretch the pack out in front, trying to create some holes and force that pack to stretch out as much as she can. Meanwhile, Addie has been recycled to the back and is coming into a wall of Circle City blockers, while Battison has found herself lead jammer status, which means she is now eligible to score points when she comes around. Adderall has also come out of the pack and will now be eligible to score points. So Battison has started scoring some points and sees that Adderall is coming into the pack and tries to call the jam before any points can be scored. It looks like Circle City was able to score 2 points. So in the game of roller derby, the goal is to get out, get established as lead jammer, and try to score some points before the other jammer gets out behind you to score points of her own. Whoever gets out first and becomes lead jammer will control the jam, and they have the opportunity to then call off the jam or end it when they see fit. So we've got Lego blocks jamming for Circle City and Alexecutioner jamming for Cornfed Roller Derby. Alexa, up on her toe stops, is trying to break apart a strong Circle City tripod at the front. In the back, we've got 4 Cornfed blockers holding Lego blocks as tightly as they can. Lego blocks sees what she thinks is an opening to the outside. Cornfed is attempting to reform around her. When she thought she made it through, she wasn't quite able to get there. However, she was able to pass all 4 hips of the Cornfed blockers, so she is your lead jammer. Alexecutioner was able to get out first, though, so Alexa can score points, but so can Lego blocks. Let's see if Lego blocks is going to call the jam or let Alexecutioner score some of her own. She lets Alexecutioner pass, so Alexecutioner is able to score those 4 points. Lego blocks getting recycled to the pack as Alexecutioner is coming in on her second scoring pass. Lego blocks decides to call the jam, but not before Cornfed can score, I think, 6 points. I want to see if Alexa grabbed any. Nope, she did not grab any points in that second pass, so she was able to get 1 full scoring pass completed for 4 points. At the end of that jam, Goldie Blocks from Cornfed is now in the penalty box, so we will be starting this next jam with only 3 Cornfed blockers lining up as compared to the 4 Circle City blockers. As the jam begins, Ragin' Raven has got the star on for Cornfed Roller Derby, and Marie Fury is lined up for Circle City. Raven trying to find some space on the outside. She is unable to do so, coming to the inside. She sweeps around, and there is 1 jammer left, 1 blocker left for her to pass. She is able to pass that blocker and establish herself. It was a no pass, no penalty, so I'm not sure if she is lead jammer or if she's headed to the penalty box. She is headed to the penalty box. It looks like that last pass was maybe not legal, so that means that Marie Fury will be the only jammer out here in this power jam and try to score points before Raven comes out of the penalty box. Now, because Raven had established herself as lead jammer before the penalty, she is no longer lead jammer, which means that this jam will go the full minute. So we have 1 more minute for these jammers to try and score as many points as they can. Marie making it through for 4 points. Raven is now standing, so she will be re-entering to try and start scoring some points. And she has now re-entered as Marie Fury approaches the pack on another scoring pass. She comes up against a strong blocker wall of Cornfed and is stopped in her attempt to try and get through these walls. Raven, on the other hand, is also trying to get through the walls, trying to find space. She's trying to call the jam, not realizing that she is no longer lead jammer, so she is unable to do that. As Marie Fury is pushed to the inside, forced to recycle, a little bit slow to get up on this one, trying to fix her wrist guard. Raven continuing to look for space. She's got one Circle City blocker to get past. She is unable to find that space and gets pushed to the inside. We have 10 seconds left in this jam, and we are going to go all those 10 seconds as both jammers are struggling to find space, struggling to get through these walls. And that is the end of the jam. I'm sure both jammers are very grateful that they do not need to continue jamming, as a 2-minute jam is a long time to try and push through 4 blockers from an opposing team. At the end of that jam, Circle City was able to score 6 points there, bringing them to 10, and Cornfed still at 4 points. As the jam begins, we have got, looks like Grizzly Barrett is jamming for Cornfed and has established herself as lead jammer. And not too far behind her is Killdeer, who is jamming for Circle City. So both jammers out of the pack. Grizzly comes through on her first scoring pass, is able to pass all of the blockers, but unfortunately gets called on a penalty and will be headed to the penalty box as Killdeer comes through, scoring her 4 points. This is going to be another jam that is going to go the full 2 minutes, as Grizzly Barrett lost that lead jammer status. So Circle City with a power jam here, trying to score as many points as they can before Grizzly Barrett comes out of the penalty box. Cornfed blocker is being sent to the penalty box. So right now, Killdeer has 2 Cornfed blockers to get through. She is able to get through to score those 4 points. Grizzly Barrett is now standing, so she will be coming out of the penalty box in less than 10 seconds as Killdeer comes through on another scoring pass. So she is going to need to pass these Cornfed blockers in order to get those 4 points. Grizzly Barrett has re-entered and is trying to now score points of her own. Looks like she has made it past all 4 blockers, but she's getting recycled, and so she is not still clear of the pack. Killdeer also not completely clear of the pack, but now they both are, so they have both earned those 4 points. They've got 40 seconds to come around and see if they can score any more points. Right now we have 1 Cornfed blocker in the penalty box as both jammers approach the pack. Both jammers really needing to find some space. Grizzly getting pushed to the inside. Killdeer getting forced to recycle. Both of them trying to find some space. Killdeer now getting pushed to the outside by Misadventure, as Killdeer is trying to stretch that pack out. Killdeer has the jammer star off and is trying to pass it to her pivot. Grizzly also has the star off. We've only got 10 seconds left in this 2-minute jam as both jammers are trying to work their way through. Grizzly has made it through that pack. Killdeer taken a bit of a hit and is probably very relieved that that jam is now over. Another 2-minute jam. Those jams can be so hard on your endurance and can really be tough. Both teams really working hard to earn all the points that they can. Circle City was able to score 16 points in that last jam to Cornfed 7, bringing our total to 26-11. All right, lining up this time, we've got Battison for Circle City Roller Derby and Adderall for Cornfed Roller Derby. Battison establishing herself as lead jammer, but Adderall is very close behind her and is going to try to possibly pass her and force her to call the jam, which she does. So what happens there is if you are a lead jammer, you get to decide when the jam ends, as long as you don't go to the penalty box, which is what we saw in those last 2 jams. So what happened there was Battison realized that Addie was going to get into that pack and score points and decided to call the jam because you want to let the other team score as few points as possible. Getting ready with another lineup here. Lego Blocks is skating for Circle City and Alexecutioner for Cornfed. As this jam gets started, both jammers getting really swallowed by these tripods. Lego Blocks saw an opportunity on the outside, but Misadventure said no and is forcing her to recycle. While in the meantime, Alexecutioner trying to stretch that pack out. She has passed all the blockers except one, and unfortunately for her, is being forced to recycle to the inside by Killer Queen. Lego Blocks was able to get through there and is out of the pack, while Alexecutioner still trying to find space to get past the 1-2. Now there's a third blocker from Circle City, but something happened and Lego Blocks is in the penalty box. She was lead jammer, so for the third time in a row, we are gonna go for a full 2-minute jam. As Lego Blocks sits in the penalty box to think about things, Alexecutioner is going to approach the pack on a scoring pass. Circle City now has all 4 blockers on the track again, and Alexecutioner is trying to get through them. One of those blockers just got called on a penalty, and Alexa thinks she sees a space and decides to call the jam. I was wrong. I guess Alexecutioner was established as lead jammer. I'm guessing it's because when the Circle City jammer was headed to the box, she thought she was lead jammer, but when you get a penalty before you get lead jammer, you don't get to be lead jammer. So Alexa was able to call that after scoring 3 points for Cornfed to Circle City's 0. I think she called that because what happens is when a jammer is in the box and the jam ends, then they get to be the jammer again for the next jam. So in this next jam, Lego Blocks will be jamming again, and we will start the jam with Ragin' Raven for Cornfed Roller Derby as the only jammer until Lego Blocks can come out of the penalty box. Raven pulls that pack apart in order to establish lead jammer. She is able to do so. So Lego Blocks is back in and is trying to find some space. She's able to find it. She just has to get past Daisy Doom. She is able to do so. So Ragin' Raven is also now entering the pack on her scoring pass. She is called on a track cut. She steps out and she nods at the referee. She knows what happened there. So okay, now this time this jam is going to go the full 2 minutes because Raven, as lead jammer, has gone to the penalty box. I'm fairly certain that I'm right on that one. In the meantime, Lego Blocks is able to get through. So as she comes around, she will be on a scoring pass and will be trying to score points before Raven can come out of the penalty box. Soulseeker rejoining the pack, so we will have all 4 blockers from both teams out on the track. Lego Blocks is pushed to the outside, thinks about coming back in, and then realizes, I better not go back in and get a track cut, so she recycles to the back of the pack. Ragin' Raven is standing, so there are less than 10. She is now re-entering, so she will be coming in to score points of her own. We have 45 seconds left in this jam, and this jam will go all the way till the end. Lego Blocks has one more Cornfed skater to get in front of, but now a few more because they have come up and reformed in front of her. That pack is stretching apart, but it can't stretch apart too far, otherwise people will get penalties. And a Cornfed blocker is headed to the box while Lego Blocks is out of the pack after scoring 4 points. Raven on a scoring pass is trying to find space, trying to get some help. She gets pushed. She is not quite out, but wants to be a little bit more careful after that last trip to the box. So she's not going to be as confident about coming right back in. She's taken some hits, trying to find some space. And there are 3 seconds left in this jam as Lego Blocks is trying to score some points. And that will end the jam. Official review is going to happen. Well, this has been a very fast-paced game so far. Circle City right now has doubled Cornfed's score of 18. So Circle City 36 to Cornfed's 18. But if that was my quick math, I think I did it right. I'm very bad at math, but I am pretty sure with my quick math, I know how to divide 36 by 2. So the officials are currently reviewing something that happened. I have a guess, but I'm going to wait to find out what it is before I mention to you what I think both my husband and I saw. He's nodding at me, so we'll see, and we will let you know. In the meantime, what I want to talk about a little bit is a B-level game. So a lot of teams didn't even come out of the pandemic much less out of the pandemic with 2 teams. Cornfed and Circle City are both very lucky teams in that not only have they returned to Derby after this pandemic, but they've returned to Derby with 2 teams. Some of the benefits of having 2 teams are you've got your A-Team. For Cornfed, that's their all-stars. For Circle City, that's their socialites. That's the teams that are going to be playing these sanctioned games. But when we have new skaters come in, they might not be quite ready to start playing at that higher level. So having a B team or a team where you can kind of maybe come back from injury, come back in as a new skater, maybe try a position. If you don't jam very much, maybe you want to try jamming a little bit in these B-level games. So oftentimes these games are a really great chance for people to sharpen their skills, to really work on learning different things. Sometimes new strategies are tried in these games, but it's a really good benefit for teams that have these second teams. Not all teams have this benefit, and especially after the pandemic and coming back, it can be difficult to have that. So we are going to be enjoying watching this game after having had a really great game earlier by those A teams. My favorite thing to talk about is always a really great dazzle, and as you can see on the camera here, we have got our dazzle of referees. So for those who do not know, one of my favorite facts is that a group of zebras is called a dazzle. So look at that beautiful dazzle out in their natural habitat, doing their very important work of trying to make decisions. Not only do they decide different things happening during the game, they're also here to ensure our safety, to make sure that things are played fairly and well, and they really have such important jobs here as we play Derby, and we appreciate them very much. Now you're going to notice too that some of those referees have skates on and some of them don't. The ones that don't are called our non-skating officials. It takes a lot of people to run a roller derby game. You've probably noticed that there are tons of different things happening out there all at once. So we need a lot of different people to help us figure this out and to help us make sure that we're counting all the points right and that we're doing all the right things and managing all the penalties. When you notice the penalty box, you'll see there's people sitting behind the penalty box that are there to help keep time. When you sit in the penalty box, you sit for 30 seconds. And so somebody has to tell you how long 30 seconds is. And trust me, when you are playing a game, you do not want to try to count to 30 all by yourself in the middle of everything else that's going on. So that is only one of the many jobs that our different officials have. We've switched camera views so you can see some of those other officials. So we have people who are helping run our scoreboard. We have got an announcer there. We have got people that are just simply helping with the statistics. The statistics are something that you don't see a lot of during these games, but this is something that the skaters and the officials and everyone really need to be able to know after the game. How many penalties happened? What kind of penalties were there? Who all went out there in the lineups? Who scored points? Who didn't score points? Those types of things can be really important and great benefit to everyone as they're preparing for their next games. So with that being said, it looks like our head ref, Ogre, is going back to the coaches to let them know what kind of a decision they made with that official review. And hopefully he'll then come over here to tell us so that we can inform you what was discussed and what is going to be happening. So we'll see. Oftentimes with official reviews, people are looking to get a penalty called on someone. This one was an official review that was not called by the coaches, though. I noticed right after this jam ended that it was one of the referees who called the official review. I think it might have been Ogre. So he's having a conversation and letting the coaches know what his decision is, and then we will find out from him what is going to be happening. And as we wait for that decision, I am going to just remind you that you have found us here on Derby Date Night on YouTube. We also have a Facebook channel and a Instagram channel, and you can find us there. Please like and subscribe, and you can see all the great things that that we are doing, as we will be continuing to bring you roller derby in Central Indiana and maybe beyond someday. As you know, this is Derby Date Night, so we usually leave our kids at home, but today we've brought them on the road for the first time. So if this goes well, maybe we'll do a Derby Date Night road trip in the future. I'm noticing that Ragin' Raven is sitting in the penalty box, and I am about to find out what happened. So Ragin' Raven, the jammer for Cornfed, was sent to the box for a directional penalty on that one, which happened right at the end of the jam. As this jam begins, Marie Fury is your jammer for Circle City, while Ragin' Raven is in the penalty box. So right now, the only one who can establish lead jammer is Marie Fury, which she does so, and so she will be lead jammer. Ragin' Raven is standing and will be entering. So Marie is on a scoring pass. She can score points. Raven has not done her initial, so she will not be able to be scoring points until she has gotten through that initial pass. She takes a hit to the inside and is forced to recycle, while Marie Fury is trying to work her way forward, takes a big hit from Executioner on the outside, and she is forced to recycle all the way back behind her own pack. So she is coming all the way back. Raven taking a minute to figure things out, getting pushed to the outside by Kimbo Slicer, who is going to force her to recycle, while Marie Fury is, again, for the second time, trying to stretch this pack out, trying to find some space and pulling this pack apart. A penalty being called on someone. Looks like a Circle City blocker will be headed to the box, as Raven has emerged from the group and will be able to now be eligible to score points on her next pass. Marie has also emerged from the pack and will be scoring points, but decides to call the jam so that before Raven can score any points of her own. Looking at the penalty box right now, I see one Cornfed blocker sitting down. No, Circle City blocker sitting down. Is that it? Did anybody else join? Nope, one from each. We have got one from Cornfed and one from Circle City. So we will start this next jam with 3 blockers from each team. And it looks like we've got, who are those jammers? Marie Fury, nope, Grizzly Barrett and Killdeer will be jamming against each other in this one. Grizzly Barrett pulling, pushing all the way until lead jammer. So Grizzly Barrett will be your lead jammer. Killdeer has to get past Daisy Doom and Debbie Darko in order to get out of this pack as Grizzly Barrett comes around on a scoring pass. She is looking for some space on the outside, cannot find it as the door gets shut by Jaja Stabor. Killdeer coming around on her first scoring pass. Grizzly Barrett has made it out of the pack. There are people returning from penalties. There are people getting penalties. So we're almost at full packs right now. Killdeer coming out. Grizzly Barrett is getting wrapped up in that pack, but she is still your lead jammer. Calls the jam, hopefully before Killdeer could steal any points. Looks like that was successful. So in that jam, Cornfed Roller Derby scored 7 points to Circle City's 4. As we reset, that penalty box is now, nope, not empty. We have one Cornfed blocker standing. So Cornfed will start with 3 blockers, but will quickly move up to a full complement of 4 blockers. As that whistle blows, Adderall is jamming for Cornfed Roller Derby. Battison also jamming for Circle City and quickly establishing herself as lead jammer, while Addie gets recycled to the inside, is trying to find some space. Battison approaches the pack and sails through for 4 easy points, practically untouched. Addie is still continuing to fight, looking for some offensive help from her teammates as Battison enters the pack and is trying to find some space. We will take a quick time out for a medical break. All right, thank you for your patience while we paused for a medical break. We are very grateful to our medics who are here on site, ready to help whenever anything happens. We always enjoy being able to see a skater get up and skate off on their own to the applause of our spectators, who are grateful to our medics for taking such great care of our skaters and who are really just happy that our skaters are doing okay. So with that being said, after this short break we will be resetting. Right now our score is 51 Circle City to Cornfed's 25 with 13 minutes left in this first half. Executioner lining up for Cornfed, and Lego Blocks will be lining up for Circle City as we start this jam with only 2 Circle City blockers out on the track for Executioner to get through. Let's see how she does. Alexa pushing, Lego also looking for some space. Both jammers trying to find some space. Alexa establishing herself as lead jammer, getting a little tangled up there with Zaza Sabour, who tried to stop her, but she was able to get through. Lego continuing to look for some space, trying to find space as Alexa comes through on her first scoring pass. Lego is now out of the pack, so we'll be coming through on a scoring pass soon. There was a little bit of a tangle up, and Executioner is headed to the box on a low block, so will no longer be lead jammer. Lego Blocks coming in on her first scoring pass. In the confusion of someone getting called on a penalty, she was able to swing to the inside and really get through untouched for 4 points on this power jam for Circle City. While Alexa continues to sit in the penalty box, she will be standing shortly. But in the meantime, Lego has an opportunity to score some points for Circle City, trying to stretch the pack out as best as she can. She is really working hard there to get through, trying to find that space, and Lego is able to find that space and score those 4 points, while Alexa is now standing and should be coming in shortly to start scoring some points. She is now in the pack. Soul Seeker is playing some offense for her and stretching out the pack. Lego coming through to try and score some more points is coming up against a pretty strong Cornfed wall. Alexa coming around on her own scoring pass. Both teams trying to reset, trying to figure out a good strategy. Alexa finds a strong blocker in, it looks like that was Roam Over, who was able to kind of stop her on that one and slow her down. Lego Blocks makes it through for 4 points as a Circle City blocker is headed to the box. Alexa also through for 4 points of her own as that jam ends after 2 full minutes. Circle City scoring 12 points in that jam to Cornfed's 8. At the end of that jam, I feel like almost everybody visited the penalty box, but some people visited and then left. So what we have left now is 1 Cornfed blocker in the penalty box to start this next jam. Nope, not Cornfed, Circle City. I told you, 2 teams with the same first letter is difficult. So Circle City, 1 blocker in the penalty box. Starting this jam with Killdeer, Circle City jammer, and Ragin' Raven jamming for Cornfed. I'm hearing a whistle, so somebody's going to the penalty box, but as that happens, Raven is coming out as your lead jammer. Lego was pushed to the outside and is pushed to the outside again, but unfortunately the person who pushed her fell, so she does not have to be recycled and is able to get out of the pack. Raven coming in on her first scoring pass, finding some space, trying to get something and call that jam before Marie Fury, who the scoreboard was given us, it looks like. Was that Marie Fury or was that like, yeah, I think that was Marie Fury, who was the jammer for Circle City. And at some point, it looks like she reported to the box. So Cornfed will start this next jam with a power jam. Grizzly Barrett lining up as the jammer for Cornfed. Timeout is being called. I think that was an official timeout as they are discussing something. That was a bit of a confusing end to that jam, so I would probably call a timeout too, just to have a drink of water maybe. So I think I see Marie Fury in the penalty box, but I also see Goldie Blocks from Cornfed in the penalty box. So when we do begin this jam again, which Grizzly Barrett and Daisy Doom look like they are posing for a prom picture as they wait for this jam to begin, and Goldie and Marie are sitting in the penalty box. My technical director was not able to switch cameras fast enough on that one, but that's okay. You missed the lovely prom picture, but you kept it on the penalty box, which, truthfully, I switched too fast and should pay attention more to what camera you have it on. So during Derby Date Night, we also like to bicker, even though I'm the only one talking, but that means that I get to control the narrative. So while we bicker, I guess, since I'm on the mic, I get to win all the bickering. Thanks for joining us on Derby Date Night. Don't forget to like and subscribe and listen to us. I guess listen to me, one-sided bicker, which means I will win all the fights. Again, this is a family edition of Derby Date Night. We've got our kids here helping us out. We also have recruited partners and other people and to help us with our cameras, and we really appreciate everyone who is willing to help us out. It takes a lot of people to make Derby Date Night happen as well, so we really appreciate our kids aren't really volunteering as much as they are voluntold, but we did have some lovely people from Cornfed helping us out in the last game, and a lovely partner who volunteered to help in this game, so we really appreciate that from everyone. While we're waiting for this official review to end, let's interact with the chat a little bit. Where are you guys watching from? Who are you here to watch? Let's shout out some of these skaters who are doing a fantastic job in this Saturday early evening game. Let us know. Where are you from? Who are you here to watch? Or maybe who wins the most bickering on your Derby Date Nights? Is it you or is it your partner? All right, as we get started again, with a power jam for Cornfed, Grizzly Barrett quickly establishing herself as a lead jammer in this power jam. So she is the only jammer that will be going around for about 30 seconds. She is approaching the pack on her first scoring pass. Goldie Block's coming in to try giving her some offensive help. Debbie Darko also trying to give some offensive help here. These these Circle City blockers are doing a great job of reforming that pack. The pack telling her, we've made some space for you on the inside, come take it, and she is trying her best. As this is happening, Marie Fury is now out of the penalty box and trying to push through on her own. She has not made her initial, so she will not be scoring points yet, while Grizzly Barrett is on a scoring pass. Trying to find some space on the inside as Marie Fury is getting recycled to the back by Soul Seeker. So that jam will end. Grizzly decided to just call that one over and will be resetting for a next jam.
I apologize for that. I never here before they started the jam. The last jammer's track cup is overturned. That's the white marker foul before they begin it. The insubordination penalty is not overturned. So they do not decide one penalty instead of two. Very much. Thank you.
So what happened there was the black jammer, Marie Fury, was in the box for a track cut and an insubordination. So that official review was to review the track cut, which was overturned. However, the insubordination was not. So Marie Fury sat for 30 seconds instead of the minute that she would have had she had both the penalties. In this jam, Adderall jamming for Cornfed was forced to recycle while Killdeer came through and established herself as lead jammer. So she is about halfway around the track. Addie now out of the track, racing as fast as she can while Killdeer trying to come through. She passes as many blockers as she can, but unfortunately was outside of bounds when she passed them, which means she did not score any points, because you cannot score points if you are not legally in bounds. So that jam will end with no one scoring any points. And we will reset again for our next one. Our current score, Circle City 63 to Cornfed's 36. All right, as this jam begins, Battison for Circle City and Alexecutioner for Cornfed. Someone's going to the box on a forearm. It looks like Daisy Doom on that one. Alexa pushing as hard as she can to get past 2, now 3 Circle City blockers. But in the meantime, Battison, your jammer for Circle City, is being sent to the penalty box. Alexecutioner pushed to the outside and being forced to recycle by Kimbo Slicer. She is going to try and kind of reset and find some space here as Circle City is trying to get their walls ready for Alexecutioner. Battison is still sitting, so she's got probably, I'm guessing, like, nope, she just stood, so she has 10 seconds left in her penalty. Another whistle being blown, another penalty as skaters are coming back in. Alexa continuing to just try and pull these skaters apart as best she can, is finally able to make it through. She is now your lead jammer. Battison re-entering. She has the star off, so she might be looking for that pivot to pass that star to. As Alexecutioner enters the pack on her first scoring pass, she engages with a strong tripod, is able to juke around them to score 4 points, and will be coming around again. Battison, in the meantime, trying to get through this pack. She is unable to, but she's able to pass the star to her pivot, who is able to get through the pack. Killer Queen is now your jammer of record for Circle City and will be coming around on her first scoring pass. Meanwhile, Alexecutioner stuck in that pack behind some pretty strong Circle City blockers. As she is still stuck, Killer Queen is able to make it through to score 4 points of her own, leaving us with a score of 4 for Cornfed, and I think we're going to see 4 for Circle City in just a second. 7 for Cornfed Roller Derby. So she was able to get 3 more, but Killer Queen, my favorite thing is when those pivots start scoring those points, so great job, Killer Queen, on getting 4 points of your own after taking that star pass. As the jam begins, there was a no pack called. I can explain that more in just a second, what happened and why a penalty was called there. Circle City established as lead jammer. Lego Blocks will be your jammer. Ragin' Raven coming out right behind her as many people are visiting the penalty box. So Lego Blocks coming in with only 2 Cornfed blockers. Raven only 1 Circle City blocker to try and get through. More whistles happening, more people going to the box. There are not very many people out on the track right now, but nope, Raven is, okay, your lead blocker, Lego Blocks, going to the penalty box. Raven, still your jammer for Cornfed, out there trying to make it through, trying to get some offensive help, but right now there is only 1 lone Cornfed blocker out there to help her. However, Raven is able to make it through for 4 points. This jam will go the full 2 minutes. We have 1 minute left in this jam, 4 minutes left in the period. Raven approaching the pack on another scoring pass, able to make it through on the inside line without really slowing down hardly at all. Lego Blocks is standing and will be re-entering. She is on her way to enter the pack at the same time as Raven, who is approaching the pack on her scoring pass. Raven trying to find her way through, but the penalty box is mostly empty. We just have 1 Circle City blocker left in that box. Lego Blocks pulling that pack apart as best as she can, is able to get through for 4 points. Raven getting a little bit caught up here behind the pack, trying to find some offense from her mom, Soul Seeker, who is trying to help her out and help her find some space. But this is a very tough Circle City group of blockers, and Raven is looking pretty tired with this one. Lego Blocks making it through. Raven trying to push as best as she can, trying to find some space. This jam is over, but in the meantime, Killer Queen from Circle City will be reporting to the penalty box on a direction. At the end of that jam, Coach Danny Mack calling an official review for Cornfed. This one I didn't see and I don't have a guess on. How many official reviews have we had so far this game? We've had 2 or 3 from the refs, and Circle City still has their official review. This one is Cornfed's official review. So this is the first official review called by a team. But nope, it's not an official review because no one's meeting in the middle. Wait, but the scoreboard. I'm just arguing with myself now. Derby Date Night, we're supposed to bicker with each other, but I guess I am my own best company. Not worst enemy. I have fun when I'm arguing with myself. I don't know what happened, but that timeout is over. So I'm guessing they used their official review as their timeout. We only have 2 minutes and 52 seconds left in this half. So we will begin what may be one of our last jams of the half. 75-55. This game is by no means belonging to anyone. Anything could happen. So don't forget, after this next halftime, we have a whole lot of derby still left to play. So please stick around. Trying to engage the chat here still. Just type in the name of a skater. Who are you here to watch? You enjoying watching the game so far? Marie Fury jamming for Circle City and Grizzly Barrett on the line for Cornfed Roller Derby. Both jammers approaching the pack, both jammers trying to get through. Now, you heard there was no whistle that blew at the beginning of that jam. The last jam, a whistle was blown because of a no pack. If the jam starts and everybody's at the pivot line and not at the jammer line, sometimes there's too big of a space, and that's when a no pack can be called. Marie Fury established herself as lead jammer. Grizzly Barrett still a little bit stuck in the pack. Part of the rules of roller derby are that you have to stay within 10 feet of the pack. They say keep your friends closer, keep your enemies within 10 feet of the pack. As this is happening, Marie Fury is getting pushed to the outside by Soul Seeker, forced to recycle, and up in the front, it looks like Cornfed had a star pass, and it looks like Daisy Doom is now the jammer for Cornfed and has taken a star pass and will now be your jammer for Cornfed. In the meantime, Marie Fury called that jam off after scoring. Did she score anything on that one? 3 points. So as these skaters are lining up, what I'm going to point out to you is they are lining up at the jammer line. If all of the blockers were to line up at the pivot line, which is about 20 feet closer towards us, that is what can sometimes result in that no pack, because they cannot be that far away and still be able to play. So what happens when that happens is somebody has to go to the penalty box if the referees say no pack and no one attempts to reform into a pack. So that is what that looks like. We are having I don't know if this is a timeout or an official review. We're having a break. We're having a siesta, a kiki. I think that's what it's called when they say let's have a kiki. All right. Our kiki break is over. And Adderall is lining up for Cornfed, and I think Killdeer. Is that Killdeer for Circle City? Killdeer has one Cornfed blocker to get past. She is able to get past that blocker to establish herself as lead jammer. Addie takes a hard fall, which results in a penalty for a Circle City blocker as she re-enters to try and find some space. She just has to get by Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom, and she is able to do that, getting out of the pack. Meanwhile, Killdeer is pushing her way through, trying to start scoring some points. Addie entering the pack with a cute little apex jump. Very nice. And she scores 4 points. Both jammers out of the pack. Addie has now passed Killdeer and is forcing Killdeer to call the jam. I think that was an even draw on that one, with both teams scoring 4 points. At the end of that jam, however, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom, I believe, was called on a penalty and will be reporting. Is she reporting to the box? Because the box is full. Okay, the box is full. There are already 2 Circle City blockers in the box. So Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom has a penalty. She will need to start this jam on the track. Once one of those jammers comes back in, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom will be told to report to the box. She did not put the pivot panty on, though, before the jam started. She now put it on, but she will not be the pivot because you have to have it on before the jam starts. So even though it's on her head, there is no pivot on the track for Circle City. In the meantime, Raven established herself as lead jammer and is now coming around on a scoring pass. Takes a big hit from Jaja Stabor, and Raven is unfortunately going to be reporting to the penalty box. She is going in the wrong direction and may just have had a second penalty for crossing the track on her way to the penalty box. While all of that is happening, there was a lot that was happening. Battison is the jammer for Circle City and is approaching the pack, I think, now on her first scoring pass. Circle City's pivot is now in the box, which means those other two blockers got out of the box, but Raven and Daisy Doom from Cornfed are in the box. Battison, one blocker to get past. She is able to get past. She scores 4 points for Circle City. Both groups of blockers slightly confused, trying to reform even though they don't have all 4 blockers. The game has officially ended, but the jam has not. So we have 47 seconds to go in this jam. As Rage and Raven is able to make it through. I apologize. I will work on making sure to use all the correct pronouns. Marie Fury still pushing their way through. Battison pushing her way through. More penalties happening. Raven is stuck behind a wall of blockers. Battison stuck behind a Daisy Doom trying to get through. This jam is going to go for 18 more seconds. And Raven trying to find some space, trying to score any point she can as this jam is coming to an end. 10 seconds left in this jam. Penalty being called on 7-7 for Circle City, who will be reporting to the box, and that means they will start the next half in the penalty box. After the end of a very chaotic jam, some skaters going to the penalty box, and they will start the next half in the penalty box. Both teams scoring 8 points during that jam. We will be going to intermission, and in 15 minutes, we will be returning to see what happens at the end of this game. Currently, Circle City Roller Derby at 90 points to Cornfed Roller Derby's 67. Welcome back to Derby Date Night with the Bickersons. Aria Kidding Me and Seriously. Here on Family Edition, we've got our kids here helping us out, OMG and LOL. They're here and we're all enjoying a family night of Derby. And we have been bickering a little bit today, but I was thinking that I was going to win all arguments, but then it was threatened that my mic might get turned off. So who knows who's going to win these types of arguments that we have on Derby Date Night, but we know no matter what, we're going to have a lot of fun. So as we return back to the action, Circle City is currently leading with 90 points to Cornfed Roller Derby's 67 points. We had a very busy first half of Roller Derby with lots of official reviews, lots of timeouts, and lots of visits to the penalty box. As we start this jam, Circle City will be down 2 blockers. Cornfed will be down at least a jammer, I think, as they were in the penalty box at the end of the last half. As we start this jam, Lego Blocks is jamming for Circle City, and Adderall is jamming for Cornfed Roller Derby. Adderall has 2 Circle City blockers to get through, is trying to do sweeping to the inside and the outside to try and get through. Lego Blocks stuck behind a strong tripod of Daisy Doom, Debbie Darko, and Lavender Haze, being joined by Soul Seeker as Addie is getting recycled to the inside. She has 1 blocker to get past. She is able to do a little hop and a jump to establish herself as lead jammer. Lego Blocks looking for some offensive help from her lone blocker, is unable to find it, sees a spot on the inside to try and get that. Addie coming through on a scoring pass, easily sweeps through to get those 4 points. Lego Blocks taking a big hit to the outside, is being forced to recycle and is taking off that jammer star and is looking for a pivot to pass it to. In the meantime, Addie coming through to do some tiptoeing on the inside line to score another 4 points for Cornfed. As this jam is continuing, Addie has just been getting those points that Cornfed so desperately needs to break into this Circle City lead, and she does so with another scoring pass for 4 more points for Cornfed. Lego Blocks, I don't know if the star was passed or, nope, the star was passed. So the pivot will now be the jammer of Circle City. And that is, it looks like, no, Lego Blocks is still the jammer. So the star was not passed. Addie, for the first time this jam, getting a little bit stuck with a now full Circle City pack. Notices that Lego Blocks has made it out of the pack and decides to call the jam before Lego Blocks can come around and score any points. A very successful jam for Cornfed, 14 points, taking them within 9 points of Circle City Roller Derby, cutting way into that lead and creating what was already a competitive game into an even more competitive game. That's only 3 minutes of Derby in the second half, and I'm already really excited. That was great. This next jam, who is lining up? Let's see. We have got Marie Fury for Circle City and Alexecutioner for Cornfed Roller Derby. Marie takes a little bit of a fall and looks like headed to the penalty box. So Marie will be in the penalty box while Alexecutioner has an opportunity in this power jam to try and not only establish lead jammer, but to score some points. A penalty has been called on someone, but while that happened, Alexecutioner was able to establish herself as lead jammer. Looks like a Cornfed blocker will be headed to the penalty box. Marie Fury is still in the penalty box, but will be standing shortly. Just stood, so 10 seconds left for Marie Fury in the penalty box. Alexecutioner coming in on a scoring pass, has 2 Circle City blockers to pass in order to get all 4 points. Marie Fury enters the track and is able to pass all 4 blockers. That was not a scoring pass, so it will not be worth points until the next time they are able to come around. So Marie Fury coming around. Alexecutioner also out of the pack and on a scoring pass. Alexa decides to call the jam before Marie Fury can score any points. So continuing to cut into that lead, Cornfed is now 5 points away from Circle City with a score of 85 to Circle City's 90. Okay, Killdeer lining up for Circle City and Ragin' Raven lining up for Cornfed. We have seen both these jammers before. Both of them use a lot of sliding and slipping back and forth, and they are very light on their feet. But the whole pack is not, as the whole pack goes down onto the ground. In the meantime, Killdeer tries to get out, but is caught with a huge hit from Daisy Doom and forced to the outside. Killdeer sees some space on the inside, but is not able to get through, blocked again by Daisy Doom. Raven continuing to try and tear apart a strong blocking duo from Circle City. While that's happening, a Cornfed blocker is sent to the box. Killdeer is able to get out and establish herself as lead jammer, and Raven, it looks like, is headed to the box. So this will be a very important power jam for Circle City, as Killdeer is going to attempt to score some points to really continue to extend that lead that Cornfed has been cutting into. She was able to get out around everyone. Soulseeker was unable to continue to block as she was out of play and not near the pack. So Killdeer was able to score those 4 points, and she is coming around as I can't tell who's in the box. Raven is about to start standing. Killdeer does not have a lot of Cornfed to get through, but is getting stopped on that inside line. Killdeer trying to score 4 more points as both Daisy Doom and Raging Raven are re-entering the pack. Killdeer coming around as Raven, I don't think Raven made it through that initial scoring pass, so Raven still has to get through before she can start scoring any points. Killdeer entering the pack again, scores those 4 points easily, says excuse me to her own blockers, and gets through for another 4 points. Raven looking for that space. She almost goes out of bounds, but doesn't quite, and is really working on trying to find some space, trying to find a place to get through. Killdeer back in the pack, really working on extending this lead. She's now scored, it looks like, I think she's 12, maybe 16 points. Something happened there with Raven's skate, I think, and she was trying to get it fixed while Killdeer was scoring her last 3 points, bringing that total to 15. So in the beginning of that half, Cornfed worked so hard to really chip into that lead, getting within 5 points of Circle City. But in one jam, Circle City said, we're going to go back up and we're going to go ahead of you by 20 again. So we're kind of in the same spot we were when the game, when the half started. This is a very important jam, as both teams, one jam can mean a lot. Battison is your lead jammer with a quick little twist on the inside line. Grizzly Barrett is jamming for Cornfed, trying to find some space. She went to the outside, took a little bit of a fall as Battison comes in to engage the pack on her first scoring pass. Grizzly still trying to figure out where these holes are in this really strong Circle City blocking tripod, as Battison is being forced to recycle. Grizzly Barrett has the star off and is considering passing it to the pivot, but found a space and thinks she might be able to get through, and she is. So she is now out and will be coming through on a scoring pass in a minute. But in the meantime, Battison is still in the pack, still trying to get through, and here comes the Grizzly Barrett to try and score some points, but Battison knew she was coming and called that jam. Is my announcer mic on? Okay. I'm seeing that someone's saying they don't hear anything, so I'm not sure. Hopefully you guys can all hear me. If you all can hear me, can someone type in the chat and let me know you hear me? I'm a little bit worried that my mic is not working. With that being said, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom is jamming for Circle City Roller Derby, and Adderall is jamming for Cornfed Roller Derby. They are both getting a little bit stuck in that pack. Adderall looking for some space. She's able to get through as lead jammer. As that is happening, Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom is getting sent to the box. So this will be a power jam for Cornfed. All right, some people can hear me, so it does look like I am able to be heard, which is great. Rogue coming in with some offense to try and help Addie out. Addie decides to call the jam. I think the Circle City jammer is still in the box, and so we will start this next jam as a power jam for Cornfed. So Cornfed was able to score 3 points. Thank you all for letting me know that you can hear me. I was worried that my husband turned the mic off since I was winning the arguments, and he did threaten to turn it off. So glad to know you all can still hear me. And our fight is just all in jest. We're just having a little bit of fun on our Derby date night. Okay, here we go. Power jam for Cornfed, while Circle City Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom is still in the penalty box. Alexecutioner quickly out as lead jammer, and she will be coming around on her first scoring pass shortly. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom is standing and is now re-entered. This is her initial pass, so here comes Alexecutioner to try and score some points and cut into this lead. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom finding space on the outside to get through. Alexecutioner getting those 4 points, but Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom is ahead of her. So is Alexa. Yep, Alexa's going to call that jam. Just chipping away at that lead with another 4 points for Cornfed. We are down to 20 minutes left in the second half of this great fun day of roller derby. I know that today's game was not open to the public, and so a lot of you are really looking forward to seeing Circle City play, I know, and they have got a huge, great home season ready for you, and so definitely check out their Facebook page to see when those games are, and hopefully we will see you there because those ones will be open to the public. Lego blocks jamming for Circle City, and One Hit Wanda jamming for Cornfed Roller Derby. Lego trying to do some spins around these tripods, trying to find some space, as Wanda is also trying to find that space, pulling that pack to the outside. She is down to one blocker left, trying to find that space as Lego has made it out of the pack and established herself as lead jammer. Wanda is also out of the pack and is following close behind. Lego, without even being touched, finds that space and scores those 4 points. Wanda following closely behind, getting pushed to the inside. But, oh, I thought that she made it through, but unfortunately it looks like that was a track cut, and she will have to be reporting to the box. Lego continuing to try and get through these very small packs. We have packs of 2 and 2 right now. Normally we have packs of 4, so that means we have a very full penalty box that will be clearing out shortly. Lego through for another 4 points, as now Circle City is fully back to all 4 blockers. But no jammer to block because this is still Lego Blocks power jam until Wanda comes back in. Another penalty being called as Wanda re-enters. Lego got through for another scoring pass, and Wanda is about to approach the pack to see how many points she can score here. Looking for some offensive help from Rogue. She finds it and is able to score those 4 points as Lego approaches the pack again. Getting a little bit trapped up, a big fall there, and everybody seems to be okay, and Lego tries to find some space, and in the meantime, Wanda just kind of slides on by the inside. Don't mind me, I'm just gonna swing through here and grab 4 points. Lego has found some space on the outside. I think she got all 4 points there. Wanda was able to score 8 there to Circle City's 16. Cornfed has called a timeout. So we will take a small break while everybody kind of resettles themselves. Cornfed at 100. So now both teams have passed the 100 mark. Oh, great. I am so glad that you were able to get back on and hear me, Tiny. It's wonderful to have you here and everybody here in the chat. We just love that you're here, and always good when you can hear me. Well, for everybody except my husband, I think. Thanks again to our camera people who really help us out with being able to see these games, and we really appreciate bringing them to you, and we can't wait to do our next one. When is our next one? Sometime in May. Check out our Facebook page and our Instagram. Like us and follow, and we will be posting our upcoming games so that you can continue to join us, whether in person or on the live stream. We love to have you either way, just to really enjoy roller derby and spend some time with us on our date nights. Okay, so the Cornfed timeout ended, but now another timeout has started, and the officials have decided they want to have a conversation about something. Hopefully Ogre will come over after and tell me what they were talking about. You know, in the last game we streamed, I was able to enjoy some nice string cheese in the second half of the second game. And no one brought me string cheese this time, but I'm still going to talk about cheese because I'm starting to get hungry. We haven't eaten in a while, so something cheesy might be on the menu. Those of you in the chat, tell me your favorite types of cheeses. I like to talk about cheese, so why not? And I am a pretty cheesy announcer, which is why cheese is a great topic. Oh, I'm sure you are really hoping that this official review ends soon before I come up with some more bad puns. We only have about 18 minutes left in this game. Ooh, goat cheese. I do love a good goat cheese. Aldi's has a great goat cheese that is like flavored. I think there's like a blueberry and almond one. Cranberries. Yeah, I would agree with you. Goat cheese is a fabulous one. Oh, Munster cheese. That one's good too. I always struggle with saying it. If it's Munster, Muenster. That's a good cheese too. It is hard to spell though. Okay, I guess the official timeout to talk about cheese is now over as our dazzle of referees have finished their conversation, and we will be getting back to the Derby. So Circle City has extended their lead again and are now up 25 points on Cornfed. The penalty box is not completely empty. We have one Circle City blocker, it looks like, in the penalty box who is standing. So that will be emptied fairly soon. I think I see Marie Fury lining up for Circle City, and Grizzly Barrett is lining up as the jammer for Cornfed. As the jam begins, Grizzly Barrett tries to find some space on the outside, is unable to, and gets pushed out, but is able to re-enter and is not established as lead jammer. She has a no pass, no penalty, which I will explain later so we don't get too confused. Marie Fury is getting a little bit trapped up in that pack as Grizzly Barrett is entering, trying to find some space. Marie Fury has taken their jammer star off, which means they cannot be established as lead jammer in this jam with that star off. They are getting pushed to the outside and will be forced to recycle. Grizzly continuing to look to find some space, is able to get back up, but is reformed in front of her, and she is able to get through for 4 points. Marie Fury continuing to try and find that space. They have one Cornfed blocker to get past, and they are almost there. Grizzly Barrett re-entering the pack again on a scoring pass. Marie Fury is through, as is Grizzly Barrett. Both of them through. Neither one of them established as lead jammer, so we have 50 seconds left in this jam, and we will go that full time. I am so appreciative of Kyle Roberts for the cheese jokes. I need you to come to every live stream and give me this kind of fantastic humor every time. Grizzly Barrett through for 4 points. Marie, I cannot see where Marie is. Marie is still working to push their way through and try to find that space. Goldie trying to push Marie to the outside. Goldie pushes but did not stay upright. Marie Fury is recycling. Grizzly Barrett is back into the pack and engaged in a very strong Circle City pack. Really just has stopped Grizzly from making that forward progress. Marie continuing to push with all their might, working so hard to try and find that space. Takes a big hit as that jam ends. Kyle, never see yourself out. This is gold and always welcomed here on Derby Date Night. If I could give people gold stars in the chat, I would. I wonder if I can. All right, that was a big jam for both teams scoring points. Cornfed was able to start to chip into that lead again, so scoring 14 points to Circle City's 4. And we are in, I think I need to call this game the game of timeouts, because there have been so many official timeouts during this game. So Ogre is having a conversation with a skater who's giving a thumbs up in the penalty box. I'm wondering if some of these, there have been quite a few skaters in the penalty box, and in roller derby, if you hit 7, you are done. And sometimes the captain has to sit a penalty for you, depending upon what happened. So there's a crowded penalty box right now. I see 1 Cornfed skater and 2 Circle City skaters, and some conversations happening with the referees as well. All right, Cornfed down by 15 as this jam begins with, I think that's Executioner, and is that Killdeer? But everybody paused and looked around, and now we are making airplanes and dancing because the end of a game is always when things get real fun. Oh, ballet moves, love it.
That timeout is to make sure Black 7-7 was substituted correctly because they fouled out, and White was assigning a new captain from the game.
Got it. All right, that timeout was because Black 7-7 needed a substitution as they have fouled out of the game. We have also had to reassign the captain for the Cornfed team because the captain of the team was needing to leave the game due to an injury. So we have a new captain for Cornfed, and Black 7-7 needed to be substituted, I believe, by the captain because they fouled out. In the meantime, Killdeer, established lead jammer, and has scored 4 points. Executioner right behind her also scored 4 points as Killdeer engages the pack on her next scoring pass. Executioner right behind her. Both jammers in the pack, both jammers trying to find some space. Lots of falling. Everybody's on the ground, but nobody is through except for Killdeer is able to find some space and get through to score 4 points. Executioner still trying to push and get past these last 3 Circle City blockers holding her. Is able to get a no pack called, and they have to let her go as Killdeer enters the pack again. She is getting stopped by some strong Cornfed blocking walls. Executioner coming through. Killdeer decides to call it before Executioner can score any points. She is able to do so. Let's see, I think, yep, Circle City was able to score 11 points during that jam to Cornfed's 8. Cornfed down by 18 with 13 minutes left to go in this game. One hit Wanda lining up for Cornfed. And who is that? Battison lining up for Circle City. Both very physical jammers. They're going to come through and try to punch their way through these walls. Battison decides, I'm not going to punch my way through this time. I'm just going to go right around on the inside line. Wanda decides to match her, doing so on the outside line. Battison coming in as lead jammer, going to be trying to score some points and calling the jam before Wanda can score any points. Let's see how many Battison was able to grab. Was she able to get any points? Looks like the Circle City coach is saying she got 1, but the refs are saying she didn't. So there's a little bit of a discussion while we try and figure out whether or not she stole that 1 point. And by stole, I don't mean like it was illegal. I mean just like got the point. So we're getting started again. Lego blocks for Circle City and Grizzly Barrett jamming for Cornfed. Lego seeing an opportunity, dashes up the outside and establishes themselves as lead jammer. Grizzly looking to find some space, has passed the star to Rogue, who somehow jumped from her knees and is trying to get some movement and get through this pack. Lego re-engaging the pack, trying to find some space. Gets through for 4 points, but in the meantime, Rogue sadly is headed to the penalty box on a track cut, which means this is a power jam for Lego blocks, who will be trying to score as many points as they can before Rogue is able to get out of the box. So the pack is moving. Part of the pack is, the Circle City pack is trying to say, let's slow this down. Let's pull this pack out so that Lego can get through to score those points. Lego is pushed to the inside and is being forced to recycle as a Circle City pivot is going to the box. Rogue is now standing, so she will be coming back into the pack as a skater takes a fall. We will be, I don't know if we're pausing for a medical timeout, but I saw a mouth guard go flying, and I'm assuming that for safety, we will be stopping the jam because skaters cannot skate without their mouth guard. A minute. All right, that injury time out. We are, again, so grateful to our medics for being able to help us out. Our skater was able to walk off on their own, and we are now celebrating the fact that we found the mouth guard. Everyone was looking over near the benches when it was actually on the track. So good thing we found the mouth guard on the track, because otherwise we would have stopped we would have started the game again and then stopped again for another official timeout because of a mouth guard being on the track. So I really wish I had been keeping track of how many official timeouts we've had, because this game has been brought to you by official timeouts. That is what we've been practicing today, and we've been doing a lot of those. So we've been learning a lot about the different reasons why we can have official timeouts. I am not sure how many skaters are left from each team at this point, because I feel like there have been a few foul outs. There have been some injuries. I'm sure both teams are running somewhat short benches. So hopefully we've got 11 minutes left to play, and I'm guessing that the skaters that are still eligible to play are going to be playing a lot of this game in the next 11 minutes of gameplay. Oh, we have a penalty board? Oh, no stats on it. Maybe someday we will actually be able to see our stats with being able to tell how many penalties people have had. We used to have a whiteboard in the middle of the track, and it was really easy to be able to see the penalties, and then we got technological, so we don't get to see them anymore. I used to call it the board of shame, because everyone could see all the penalties that I had. I never fouled out. I just got ejected once, but we won't talk about that moment. Maybe someday I'll tell that story. Since I don't play anymore, we don't need to talk about all my penalty woes. All right, looks like our head referee, Ogre, has finished chatting with the captains and coaches and is now talking to the dazzle of referees. They're all listening very intently. I wish I could golf commentate the referees. You know, we're seeing the dazzle in their natural habitat. They're having a discussion. It's a serious one. I don't know what else to say. I don't watch golf. I also learned this week that I don't watch hockey. When people were trying to get me to watch hockey, I really just follow obscure sports. Oh, are we on camera now? Thanks to our camera people for showing you who we are behind Derby Date Night, here enjoying our lovely date on this family edition of Derby Date Night. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. We are on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube, and we will be bringing you all the best Derby in Central Indiana as much as we can over the next few months. I think we've got games in May, June, and July. that we will be attending. I think we've even been invited to one on our anniversary, so that will be a special edition of Anniversary Derby Date Night on July 9th. If you are just joining us, we have been enjoying the second game of our doubleheader, Circle City Roller Derby's Party Crashers versus Cornfed Roller Derby's Muncie Misfits. Earlier today, we watched the Circle City Socialites take on the Cornfed All-Stars in this great competitive doubleheader. We've really been enjoying some great derby this afternoon and evening, and hope that you are enjoying it as well. With that being said, it looks like we are going to be getting back to the derby. I see Alexecutioner lining up for Cornfed, and Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom is lining up for Circle City. Okay, penalty box not empty. We have one Circle City pivot in the box, but other than that, we've got everybody else out there. As the jam begins, both jammers looking for some space, trying to find a place to get through. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom able to find some space on the outside and get out as your lead jammer. The Cornfed blockers coming back to try and help Alexa find that space. She is just stuck behind these two Circle City blockers as Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom enters the pack again, finds some space on the outside and slides on through, scoring 4 points. Alexa is now out of the pack and is coming around on her scoring pass. So Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom is going to decide whether to, yep, she is going to call the jam before Alexecutioner can score any points. Bringing Circle City's lead to math, 30 points. That was not too hard of a math problem. It's nice when they both end in the same number. All right, 10 minutes left in this game. We've got Kill Deer lining up for Circle City and One Hit Wanda for Cornfed. Wanda doing some jumping in the back, trying to find some spots to get through. Kill Deer deciding to take the push them as far as I can option to try and get through. Both jammers not really finding space yet. Both really pushing hard. These packs are strong. Wanda finding some space, has one blocker left to get past. She is able to get through, but not before Kill Deer can get out and establish herself as lead jammer. We are racing to see if we can score any points. Kill Deer decides to call off the jam before Wanda can enter the pack. They both came in at a screaming fast pace, and no points were scored in that jam. Grizzly Barrett lining up for Cornfed, and a Dancing Battison lining up for Circle City Roller Derby. I love the end of a derby game because people start to just relax a little bit and have a little bit of fun. So, oh no, is that another official timeout? Is this really? Really? I think the crowd is even realizing how many official timeouts we've had because there was a reaction from the crowd. Luckily, it was not for long, and I think we're done. Okay, I think we're going to get back to roller derby. Yes, we are. All right, Battison and Grizzly Barrett. Grizzly tries to find some space on the inside. I think a Cornfed blocker is headed to the box. Battison sees a space on the inside and establishes herself as lead jammer. Grizzly still trying to find a spot to push through. Looking for some help from the pivot. Takes off the star. Is trying to pass it to Ziggy Zig Ah as Battison is re-entering the pack on a scoring pass. Pushed to the inside by Daisy Doom. Ziggy Zig Ah is now your jammer for Cornfed, coming around on her first scoring pass. Battison tries again and is again pushed to the inside by Daisy Doom, and is forced to call it before Ziggy can come around and score any points. But Battison was able to grab 2 points of her own before calling it. getting ready for the next jam. Who do we have? Looks like, is that Lego blocks? Nope. Yeah, Lego blocks and Executioner are your jammers for this jam. Little bit of a dust up, couple people falling down, and that gives Lego blocks the opportunity they need to establish themselves as lead jammer. Executioner trying to find some help, trying to find some space, really just working to push, and is able to pass the star to Rogue, which I didn't even notice. So Rogue is now the jammer for Cornfed as Lego blocks enters on a scoring pass. Lego is being told to call it, but ooh, let's see. Was Rogue able to steal a point? 2. Rogue was able to steal 2 points before Lego heard that Rogue was on her way. So that leaves us with a even jam, both teams scoring 2 points. Wanda, is Wanda lining up again? Wanda, who told me before the second half started, I think I might jam once in the second half. I think this is her 4th time at this point. But she will be jamming against Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom. And Wanda is pushing. Bibbidi is looking for space. They both got through at pretty much the same time, but Wanda is the one who was established as lead jammer. I don't even know. One of them's in front and then the other one's in front. They're both approaching the pack. Wanda is not going to call it. She is going to let this jam go. Both skaters are able to score points here. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom gets through. Wanda also gets through. Both skaters scoring 4 points. Looks like Wanda's going to run it, which means they're both going to keep trying to score points. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boom approaching the pack. Wanda also approaching the pack. Wanda getting pushed to the outside. Bibbidi also getting pushed to the outside. Both skaters. That was like synchronized, being forced to recycle. Both skaters trying to get through. I heard a penalty get called on somebody, but I don't think it was a jammer. So we've got a Circle City blocker in the box, and we've got a Cornfed blocker headed to the box. Bibbidi has made it through to score her 4 points. Wanda is continuing to try and find some space. She's being told to call it, and she does so. Cornfed scoring 7 points in that last, yeah, there we go. 7 points in that last jam to Circle City's 8 points in that last jam. Okay, Killdeer lining up for Circle City. And where's the jammer for Cornfed? Oh no. That was a lot of whistles. Cornfed did not feel the jammer, which means another official timeout. I think the captain is heading to the penalty box because you cannot start a jam without a jammer. So I think Ziggy's the captain and will be sitting in the penalty box to take that penalty. All right, now Executioner versus Killdeer as the jammers of record. And Ogre's coming to tell me what was going on. I thought so. Thank you. I was correct. White did not field a jammer, so that was a delay of game penalty. And that is why we see the captain in the penalty box. All right, this jam brought to you by another official timeout. Hopefully we don't have any more in the next 4.5 minutes. But while I was talking, Executioner established herself as lead jammer. Killdeer pushing, trying to get past Rogue and Goldie. There's some offensive help happening there. Pulling that to a no pack, so she is forced to be let go. So she is through. Executioner entering the pack on her first scoring pass, trying to find some space as Killdeer is coming around to try and start scoring points. Alexa is being forced to recycle on the inside. Killdeer comes in, is pushed to the back of the pack. I think Nope, we still got one Cornfed blocker in the penalty box. Executioner has made it through to score those 4 points. Killdeer has one blocker to get past as Executioner comes around to try and score more points. Killdeer using all her strength possible to try and push this pack out as Alexa comes through for 4 more points of her own. Killdeer still pushing and just working so incredibly hard to try and make it through. Has one last Cornfed blocker to get through as that jam ends. I think Killdeer was able to get some points there. I think at least 4. Yes, 4 to Cornfed's 8. So Battison is lining up for Circle City and Miss Adventure lining up for Cornfed. We have 3 minutes left in this game. Circle City ahead of Cornfed by 29. I'm going to stop doing math. Some points. All right, this jam begins. Battison and Miss Adventure both looking for holes here. Miss Adventure swinging from side to side, trying to create that space and is able to do so, getting through to establish herself as lead jammer. Battison looking for some help, taking that panty off, might be passing the star to a pivot, getting pushed to the inside. Miss Adventure coming in on a scoring pass, gets a little tangled up and is able to stay in bounds to score those 4 points. Battison is out, and so now both are coming around on a scoring pass. This will be Miss Adventure's second scoring pass and Battison's first scoring pass. A little bit of jammer on jammer action. Battison has decided to play defense and try and stop Miss Adventure, who says no thank you and gets through for 4 points of her own. A direction is called on Cornfed. Another penalty being called on Circle City. Lots of penalties. We are down to 2 minutes left in this game. Miss Adventure has scored some more points and just made it through for another, nope, she got recycled. She tried to get through for another 4 points. 51 seconds left in this jam right now. Miss Adventure, still your lead jammer, has gotten a little bit stuck in this pack. Battison is also stuck in this pack. Both jammers just really not able to find any space. Miss Adventure does a spin. Is not sure if she needs to recycle, but doesn't want the penalty, so does so anyway. Battison trying to pull that pack from side to side, trying to figure out a way to create some space. Miss Adventure is told to call the jam, which she does with 1 minute and 15 seconds remaining on the time clock. So we are going to have at least one more jam in this game. Cornfed now up to 149 to Circle City's 173. Ziggy Zaga is putting the star on for the first time today and lining up next to, is that Lego blocks? So 47 seconds left in this jam. This could be our final jam of the day. Ziggy getting pushed to the outside and forced to recycle. Lego trying to find some space. Both jammers trying to figure something out. Ziggy going to the outside, but getting called on something and will be reporting to the penalty box, which means the only person eligible to become lead jammer at this point is Lego Blocks, who is trying to get past the last remaining Cornfed blockers as she stretches this pack out, getting pushed to the outside by Wanda, getting captured by Goldie as well. Just trying to push this pack out on this power jam, is able to get through, get established as lead jammer. The period time has ended, so this will be the last jam, and Lego decides to call it, ending the game. What a fun and exciting game for both teams. Circle City taking this one with an unofficial score of 173 to 149. Thank you again for joining us for this great day of roller derby, and we will see you again soon. Looking forward to finding out where we're going to be next. Check us out, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, and we've really enjoyed having you for another derby date night with the family.